Woodward. We are starting off your day with a brand new crew. Meet Broder.
I can't control my arms sometimes. My limbs are just kind of flying.
Detroit Kool-Aid.
Fired up!
Y'all got Kool-Aid.
I'm fired up! But with the Wake Up Woodward crew, he's actually a part of the family.
Flannel Sam.
Ask me about my wiener! Okay.
Along with JB and KG. Wake Up Woodward gets you all of your Detroit sports talk. Every morning, 8 to 10 a.m. Live on Woodward Sports. A show for Detroit, by Detroit, with people from Detroit. Tell Siri to set an alarm, because it's time to Wake Up Woodward.
What up, though, people? It's Wake Up Woodward, and guess what? You know what? We got one half of a victory show today. Shout out to those Detroit Pistons. It's been a minute since I've actually worn a Detroit Pistons hat on like a show or a pod in the arena or anything, trying to make sure that I'm as professional as possible. But right now, first one of the season, I'm just a fan, man. It's your boy, Brandon Dan, aka Detroit Kool-Aid, your credentialed Pistons reporter and writer. Flannel Sam, our vet of the squad, vet of the network, Red Wings correspondent, all sports knower. What up, though, man? Good morning.
Hey, I mean, the Pistons got a win last night, and since they got a win, they get a whole segment to themselves in the second hour of the show, and I think they have absolutely earned that at least. Obviously, they're still 1-4, but that was one they certainly had to get, and they came through. Won by double digits.
They did. Yeah. They did, man. It was interesting. Some of the theories that we've been theorizing, and I have something to say during that segment, man. I'm going to save it for then. They kind of played it themselves out. But you know what? Good win for them. It had the recipes of some of the types of losses that we saw them take last year, where the stars weren't playing. We heard Jaylen Brown call out the Detroit Pistons as one of those teams where the others could go off on them. And we talked about it yesterday. Tyrese Maxey was going to get busy. So it was about how they were going to respond to there. And you know what? They found a way to at least win one that we saw them lose many times before last year.
Oh, yeah.
So, hey, you want to tell the people what we're going to talk about, and then we'll introduce the rest of the cast?
Yes, so we're going to get into the Lions heavy in the first hour. There's a certain new addition to my Defensive Player of the Year candidates, who happens to play the same position as the player who was in my last week's edition of Defensive Player of the Year candidates. We're going to talk about some potential trade scenarios. I'm going to present one. KG's going to present a couple for the Lions to make potentially at an edge rusher acquisition. Like I said, we're going to talk about the Detroit Pistons in the second hour, getting their first win of the season. But in the first, but coming up after we introduce the rest of the crew, there was a big sporting event that just culminated last night that I actually was captivated by. I don't know about you guys, but I certainly was.
Yeah, go Pistons, man.
Well, there's another one that I flipped to after the Pistons game.
Oh, is it that one where they hit the ball with the stick?
Yeah.
Oh, the World Series. No. I know. That one was amazing just because Shohei Ohtani, man, you can't say enough good things about that guy throughout the entire playoffs. Goodness gracious. And now the Dodgers, obviously, Maz is not the happiest.
No, he's not.
This morning. But Dodgers, man, they win it.
Yes, they did. And hey, KG has entered the building.
Hey, talk to me about this Dodgers win, man, because I know that you were one of those that were in Metro Detroit and locked in chat family.
Yeah.
Let me know if you were locked into the World Series at all. Let me know what was on the tube last night. If you even knew that the Detroit Pistons were playing. But talk to me about the World Series, man.
Well, KG, I know you've always had a bit of a soft spot for the Yankees, and I'm not making fun of you either. You've admitted it. I've always had a soft spot for the Dodgers, so I'm happy for them. I'm happy that they got this second World Series title during this run of basically regular season dominance and a lot of postseason heartbreak. They finally got that second one, and you got to give a special shout out to Freddie Freeman, one of the greatest World Series performances you'll ever see. A home run in the first 4 World Series games, including a walk-off in Game 1, and then last night he had a big 2-run single to cut the lead from 5-1 to 5-3 in the 5th inning. More on that inning in a second. My goodness, Yankees. But that's beside the point for now. Freddie Freeman was phenomenal. His second ring. Mookie Betts gets his third, believe it or not, because he got one with the Red Sox before he got traded to the Dodgers before the 2020 season. But there's a few people that I'm most happy for. You mentioned him, Shohei Ohtani. Shohei Ohtani, to me, is the best baseball player I've ever seen, considering what he does at the plate and what he's done at the mound. Listen to these numbers. In over 3,000 at-bats, a 945 OPS, and in over 480 innings pitched, a 3.01 ERA. We've never seen anybody like that, certainly since Babe Ruth, but Babe Ruth didn't always do both at the same time. Certainly he didn't when he was with the Yankees. So Shohei Ohtani, to me, is the best ever. And if you wanted to find maybe one thing about his career, which wasn't even his fault, is that he didn't win anything within the other Los Angeles team, which was the Angels. And the Angels, man, talk about it, wasting Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani. But again, another story for another day. But Shohei Ohtani finally got that ring. Even though he didn't have his best postseason and he wasn't very good in the World Series, he certainly did enough of the heavy lifting in the regular season and did have 3 postseason home runs, by the way, about to win his 3rd MVP. His first MVP actually as exclusively a hitter. Had his best season as a hitter when he was not able to pitch in his first season with the Dodgers. Shout out to him. And I also want to give a shout out to Mr. Clayton Kershaw. And don't get me wrong, Clayton Kershaw did not play in this playoffs, and maybe that's a good thing for the Dodgers because he has been a bad postseason performer, but to me, he is the best regular season pitcher I've ever seen on just a pitch-to-pitch basis. 3 Cy Youngs, a lifetime ERA of 2.50 in the regular season. Unfortunately, it's 4.49 in the playoffs, but even though Clayton Kershaw didn't play, I think it was big for the Dodgers to get that second ring in this era because Clayton Kershaw, don't get it twisted, he was the face of the Dodgers postseason failures. So at least, as I said, they got 2 instead of 1. They've been a dominant regular season team for damn near 15 years, so they needed to validate their 2020 win with a 2024. And the last guy that I'm super happy with, and this has a Tigers connection, Mr. Jack Flaherty, of course. I thought the discussion surrounding Jack Flaherty in the Tigers playoff run, particularly because of guys like Mark Ryan, we became a little bit dismissive because obviously we know that getting rid of him and selling and getting a Trey Sweeney really helped out the Detroit Tigers, but I stand by the fact that the Tigers would not have been in the playoffs without Jack Flaherty because of what he provided for this team in the first half of the season, and of course being the piece that they were able to sell off to honestly do a little bit of a buy while selling and getting Trey Sweeney. In the first half, man, if the Tigers didn't have Jack Flaherty, particularly because Kenta Maeda was such a bust, they might have been so far out of it that there was no chance of, even if they made a run like they did, they probably wouldn't have made it. So congratulations to the Dodgers, and congratulations to all 3 of the players that I just mentioned. And Jack Flaherty, I know he wasn't great in the postseason, but he had a couple of big performances as well, particularly Game 1 in the NLCS and Game 1 of the World Series. Happy for him.
Yeah, and when you mention Shohei Ohtani, when I talk about him, I'm starting to understand that might be the way that how I see him. How a lot of fans here probably see LeBron James. It's one of these kind of otherworldly, generational, all-time talents that you're seeing greatness, you're seeing specialness. So you guys think I should just let my hate for LeBron go?
Yes.
Never.
Yes. Yeah,
Congratulations, Shohei Ohtani. I love seeing you play baseball. Congratulations to Dodgers.
KG, were you disappointed in the Yankees?
No, because I kind of expected it. If you watch D&E, I've literally said it was going to be a gentleman's sweep for the Dodgers. And, I mean, the Yankees just have a history of doing this, man. The Dodgers, they take the same approach as a West Coast team that the Yankees do, and somehow they still were able to cash some in before they were. Mainly Aaron Judge. Yeah, it was cool that you got the home run in the last game, but where the hell have you been the whole series? This team does not move without Aaron Judge, going out there and hitting homers, man. That's just the real. Like, the rest of the team played well. Your boy Jazz Chisholm had a big hit last night too, Sam.
He did, but he's also, did you see that Ofer when it came to his postseason
he didn't
average
have
with runners in scoring
position? He hasn't had a great postseason.
Had a big 0 in front of it?
Yeah, we all know. But this was just meant to be, man. And you're happy for the Dodgers. You like some of the stories. Freddie Freeman, after almost losing his kid and everything, that's a nice story. Good to see Shohei finally get his. Jack Flaherty, he gets a ring as well. So, yeah, man, shout out to the Dodgers, man. It was a well-played series. Kind of expected it to happen, though.
Hey, you know what? Shout out to our guy, DJ High Def Stuff is in the chat.
Yes.
Hey, shout out.
I see you there. I got one. I got one on my side, man. He says, I can never let it go ever since he dropped 27 on us in the playoffs and then got swept in the finals.
That's fair. No,
I feel like somebody who understands.
Oh, and I totally get that angle of it. But as you said, as LeBron is an all-time special generational NBA player, that's Shohei Ohtani in MLB.
Yep.
And somebody who is that in the regular season but continuously falls short in the playoffs. Aaron Judge does it again.
Yeah.
And I know he had a home run yesterday.
Too little, too late.
But when you let's look at his postseason numbers this year. In the regular season, he had an OPS of 1.159. He's going to run away with the MVP of the American League. In the playoffs, 752. And you know how I mentioned at the beginning the Yankees with just an all-time choke job? You know who got the choke job started in the 5th inning? Mr. Aaron Judge. And that was after, in the 4th inning, actually making a really nice catch. Not even a nice catch, a great catch on a Freddie Freeman hard-hit ball to rob him. But in the 5th inning, man, the Yankees just imploded in a way that I didn't even think was possible for them, because Kike Hernandez started the inning off with a single, and then Tommy Edman hits a soft line drive right at Aaron Judge. You have to catch that 100 times out of 100, and he just drops it. It's inexplicable. And Aaron Judge is actually a pretty good center fielder, and he just drops it. If you see the replay, there's nothing you can even look at except it was just a terrible, terrible drop. And on the next play, I forgot who hit it, but it was a ground ball to short, and Anthony Volpe, trying to get the lead runner at third, makes a throwing error and then leaves the bases loaded. And then Garrett Cole, after kind of getting screwed over by his teammates, strikes the next 2 guys out, Gavin Lux, which is not that big of a deal, and then he strikes out Shohei Ohtani, and then he induces a softly hit ground ball to first by Mookie Betts. He's about to get out of this inning unscathed. And then Anthony Rizzo, it was a comedy of errors by both Anthony Rizzo and Garrett Cole. Anthony Rizzo, to me, has to charge that ball and step on first, but Garrett Cole also has to get his ass over there and cover. But since neither of those things happen, Mookie Betts is safe at first due to an infield single. It's 5-1, and then that opens the floodgates for Freddie Freeman getting a 2-run single to cut the lead to 2, and then Teoscar Hernandez tying the game with a 2-run double. So the Yankees and Aaron Judge the Yankees obviously didn't choke in the entire postseason, but that 5th inning, that was just inexplicable. You can't do that. That's going to go down as an all-time choke job that'll live in New York Yankees infamy. And Aaron Judge, man, it's his 7th postseason, and his numbers are significantly down in the postseason as they are to where they are in the regular season. One of the great regular season players of this generation, but just as big of a playoff choker as they come. I actually felt a little bad for him at this point. It's 7 postseasons. Hasn't gotten the job done yet.
It's a pretty wild stat there, man. And I see that there's some love in the chat for the Tigers in the way they've been built as well. I didn't see where it went, but it was just they like the fact that there were multiple players who stepped up for the Tigers during this playoffs. It's actually Randall Smalls. That's why I love Tigers team. They all step up instead of waiting on one guy. Now, I do want some help, though. I do. Because now that the World Series is over, that's where my eyes instantly go towards is what can the Tigers do now to capitalize even more? I mean, our eyes were already there, but now the season's over. Let's start making those strides. Like, I love the fact that the Lions wasted no time with saying, bro, we want to get further than what we got last year. And you could feel that conviction. And I can't wait to see what the Tigers do now.
Hey, Juan Soto's a free agent. Chris, open your checkbook. Or, I mean, even if that's probably not going to happen, but Jack Flaherty, you got your ring. Come back. Come back to Detroit. You know you loved Chris Fetter as your pitching coach. You know how well he revitalized your career. Come back home.
And he hit, he sent Detroit sports Twitter into a frenzy with that handshake emoji during the playoffs when we advanced, and they also advanced as well. It was pretty cool. But Dante151, I see you with the $9.99 super chat. He said, I'm just glad that New York fans are even more sad today because Jets equal trash, Giants equal trash, Knicks equal choke job, Rangers equal choke job, Mets equal choke job, and Yankees equal, and then he just puts a middle finger emoji. And I watched AEW and Pistons because I asked the chat family earlier, hey, what'd you guys watch last night?
It is insane how the number one market in the entire United States, when's the last champion that they've had? Was it the Yankees in 2009 or am I missing one?
I'm pretty sure it's the
No,
Wow.
And the Jets AFC Championship run, shout out Braylon.
Shout out to Braylon.
Oh, yep. My bad.
Giants.
Yep, Giants in
Giants,
2011.
yeah.
But still, that's
Damn.
Wait, did the Liberty win this year or no?
Oh, yeah, they did.
Oh, yeah. I forgot.
Shout out to the Liberty.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was just like a couple weeks ago, fellas. What the hell?
Damn, like irrelevant.
I'm sure that parade had 10 people, but that's neither here nor there.
Hey, they had 25 people. Chill.
JB?
They
All
come
right,
out
then.
for Breonna Stewart.
You know what?
And I am sorry for forgetting the Giants. That's malfeasance by me.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you,
before
Chase.
we get into this next segment, man, shout out to that dude, Justin, our brother Matthew Broder. Intern Chase is in the building, or should I say, Mr. Blues Clues himself. What up, though?
Hey, what up, Joe? Happy Halloween, everybody. How's it going today? Hope everyone in the chat's having a good one. If you're out trick-or-treating tonight, passing out candy, maybe taking your kids out. Hope you guys have a good one. It's supposed to be nice weather. Stay safe out there, and make sure you steal a couple of treats for yourself. So.
Oh, chat family, y'all are on one already. And good morning again, Chase. But Detroit's #1 draft pick in the sound booth, that is KG. What up, though, Black Hollywood?
Hey, what up, though, man? I'm so happy for the Pistons.
Yeah.
That win last night was great.
Yeah.
Have you talked Pistons yet?
We're gonna
I'm
talk
ready to
about
talk
it. We're
some
gonna
Pistons,
talk
man.
about it.
I'm on my Kool-Aid today,
It gets
man.
a
What's
full
up with it?
segment, KG. It doesn't just get around the city. It gets a full segment.
My dog.
It's
It's a
been
full
2
segment.
years, bro, and I was like, I'm wearing a hat today. I don't care. I'm like, where's
When was the last time you saw a Pistons double-digit victory, man? That felt good last night. It did.
holding an opponent under 100. We'll talk about it. We got to save it. Hey, Woodward Sports MVP in the TD booth. JB Smooth. Bro, the Pistons. I mean, JB Smooth.
Hey, I was trying to put you guys on game yesterday. Take the Pistons money line. You would have made some money last night. Hell, if you even took the points, it doesn't even matter. They smashed the 76ers without Embiid, without Maxey. I'm just so happy for this team right now. Like
Without Paul George.
Oh, Paul George, yeah.
No, Maxey went crazy last night,
Oh,
actually.
But still, yo, look, Pistons won regardless. I told you to take the money line. They finally got their first win. I made some money last night. I don't know about you guys, but back on the hype train.
Back on the hype train. Dog, Pistons won. I just got some really good news. I'm going to share it with you guys off break. It's just, We're going to have some fun
Yes, we are.
in November. Oh, man, let's get into this next
we're gonna have
segment. We got to talk about somebody in that secondary who deserves a lot more attention.
Absolutely. But first, if you need to work out, go to Planet Fitness. It's fitness that fits your budget. No matter where you are, there's a Planet Fitness close by. There are more than 50 in Metro Detroit and thousands more throughout the world. At Planet Fitness, you'll experience a squeaky clean gym that has tons of equipment, friendly, knowledgeable staff, and a totally judgment-free atmosphere. Did you know that all Planet Fitness memberships include fitness training for no extra cost? Want all the perks? Upgrade to the PF Black Card and enjoy use of amenities such as unlimited use of the Black Card Spa featuring hydro massage, massage chairs, and total body enhancement and more, along with access to over 2,500 locations worldwide and unlimited guest privileges. For more information or to join today, visit your local Planet Fitness or planetfitness.com.
Into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward Sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward and Maine, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and woodwardsports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game is expect wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah!
Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go!
Hey, KDK Law, if you've been through divorce, family or criminal law issues, you know what? You need excellence on your side, and KDK Law in Birmingham, it is excellent. Scan the QR code above my head, and it'll take you to their website where you can schedule yourself a service. Obviously, it's not a situation anybody wants to be in, but you have to look to the future and realize it might be bleak now, but with KDK Law, they could set you up for a very advantageous life after these unfortunate circumstances. You need excellence on your side, and KDK Law, well, that's excellent.
Hey, what up, though? It's Wake Up Woodward. Thank you, guys.
Tagline. I just made that up.
I was going to say, was that the tagline?
That's not the tagline.
You just made that on the spot.
Getting better at improvising, folks. I've come a long way from my first improvised KDK Law.
Yeah.
A long way.
This man is elite. I'm telling you guys, man. Welcome back to Wake Up Woodward. Thank you guys for kicking off the day with the crew. Just seeing some of these chats, these comments from the chat family, because you guys are the most important part of the entire WUW Crew production. Let's run up those likes. Denver Blair, K better start balling out. What?
Well, did you watch last night?
We'll talk. I know. And then Easy. Nobody dressed up. What do you mean? We got Steve from Blues Clues in the building. JB's dressed as a University of Michigan fan or coach or something like that.
Hey.
I see the hat, the maize and blue. I see it.
Hey, I'm Snoop D-O-double-G. Why D-O-double-G, you see?
I'm dressed up as a Pistons fan today. I got the Pistons hat on. And my man Flannel Sam over here, that's Sam Reynolds.
I have a uniform, folks. I gotta adhere to the uniform.
Yeah.
So let's get into it. We gotta talk about the Detroit Lions. Word to our brother Broder, TLB. What does that stand for, Mr. KG?
Talk Lions, bitch.
That's what we're going to do right now. And one of these players that we know needs and deserves a lot of attention is Kerby Joseph. And early on in the season, we teased this. Hey, is he one of the best safeties in the league? Is he the best safety in the league? The Lions have the best safety tandem in the league. And early on, people say, whoa, slow your roll. Hold on there, Rondo. But now people are saying... Shout out to Phil. Now people are saying, you know what? Kerby Joseph is that deal.
Yes.
He's that deal. He's one of the tops in interceptions, and I believe that he could actually be the top, if not for his own teammate that's also a ball hawk as well, and one Brian Branch, man. Talk to me about Kerby Joseph and where you believe he should be in his Defensive Player of the Year race.
Well, the fact that he's even in the running is a testament to how well that he's played. Last week, I made a case that Brian Branch, I put him at 4th in my Defensive Player of the Year rankings. However, this week, I'm swapping in Kerby Joseph and moving down Brian Branch just a bit because he did not play his best game against Tennessee. And when you talk about Defensive Player of the Year, you got to nitpick a little bit. But Kerby Joseph, right now, on my Defensive Player of the Year list, if Flannel Sam had a vote, he would be 4th. And the reason why that's so amazing and why you should not look at it as I'm hating because he's not higher. Did you know that only 4 safeties in the history of the NFL have won Defensive Player of the Year?
And I hope people
only
aren't
4.
looking at it as hating.
Yes.
I'm happy with this ranking.
Only 4. It was Troy Polamalu, Ed Reed, Bob Sanders, and Dick Anderson.
And look who you named.
Hey, yes. And everybody remembers those Dick Anderson days. He was the man. He actually was the man for the 72 Dolphins. But the point is that usually lately it's gone to an edge rusher. It's gone to linebackers quite a few times too. It's even gone to corners a lot more often than safeties. But this season, Kerby Joseph is he's taken that leap to me from being an excellent ball hawk to just an all-around excellent safety. Here's some numbers when it comes to Kerby Joseph. He's 2nd in the NFL in interceptions. He's the 2nd highest graded PFF safety in the NFL after his teammate Brian Branch, which they absolutely are the best safety tandem in the NFL, at least the way they're playing this year. Yeah. He's allowed a 41% completion percentage when targeted, a 23 passer rating allowed when targeted, which is absolutely absurd. You'd be better off throwing it into the ground every time if you're a quarterback than throwing it at Kerby Joseph. And 4 of his interceptions have occurred in the end zone, which means that quarterbacks are literally trying to give themselves 28 points, and Kerby Joseph was just like, no, we get the ball instead. It's not just that he's gotten the interceptions, it's he is flipping and changing games. He is taking the hearts out of opponents. They are in position to score, and he is just snuffing out all of their dreams. So yes, Kerby Joseph is right now playing like the first-team All-Pro safety, and to me, he is 4th in my Defensive Player of the Year rankings.
Yeah, and you know what, with Kerby Joseph, that was one of the players that, when we go back and rerun the tape, it was that opportunistic aspect where I know people were like, well, is Terrion Arnold and Anders Rakestraw, are we really going to be able to depend on them? What's Carlton Davis going to do? Is he still going to be that guy? Is Amik Robertson, is he going to be that dog? And you know what? I love the tandem of Brian Branch and Kerby Joseph. And obviously we wish if he was able to kind of throw his name in the hat as well. But I always believed that Kerby was going to take that next step towards elite because of his ability to take the ball away. Based on the way that AG schemes up this defense, it gives a lot of opportunity to those safeties, especially when you're in the red zone. And Kerby and Brian Branch, what they do well is they use their speed to set up and to manipulate the quarterbacks. Like to hear them somebody from within NFL media state that they heard from an actual pro team say that it's because of the blue color of the wall. Now, you look around the NFL, I was just like, let me just start looking at highlights. This is a theme. All the teams have this type of stuff where they have a matching jersey that matches the back wall. But instead of wanting to give the credit to Kerby Joseph, who's more than lucky, because everybody gets lucky every now and then. But this is a guy this is his craft, man, and he's showing and proving that you want to throw the ball and test him, you better make sure that it is on target, because I've even seen him take those away.
Yes.
So it's like Kerby Joseph, I'm happy to hear where your ranking is with them. And the other cool thing is this. Who knew that the Detroit Lions were going to have multiple players worthy to be within the top 5, maybe even top 10 of the Defensive Player of the Year conversation? Brian Branch has heard his name floated around. Kerby Joseph deserves to have his name there. Obviously, we know how Aiden Hutchinson started the season, and when he went down, who knew that we were going to have multiple players that not only would step up, but would step up to the tune of, like you said, changing the whole complexity of games.
Well, that's the thing. Aiden Hutchinson, if he didn't go down, he was the front runner. He was the absolute front runner. And I've got Kerby at 4, and I don't know exactly where I'd put Brian Branch in my rankings. I'd probably put him at like 6 or 7 at this point. But if you want something even to further what I'm saying that I think will make a lot of you happy, I actually have Kerby Joseph ahead of Xavier McKinney on my list. I've had Xavier McKinney consistently about 2 or 3 when I'm doing just my personal Defensive Player of the Year rankings, but Xavier McKinney, he did have a pick against Jacksonville, but he allowed a couple of big plays, and now his passer rating allowed when targeted is worse than Kerby Joseph. So I got Xavier McKinney at like 5, 6, 7, wherever you want to just rank him. And if you just want to hear my top 3 really quick, at number 1, I've got Dexter Lawrence. What a season he's having. Leading the NFL in sacks from the defensive tackle position. Finally getting the counting stats to go along with his overall just dominance of the defensive tackle position. And the Giants quite as kept. They got Kayvon, they've got Brian Burns, they've got Dexter Lawrence, they've got Azeez Ojulari, and it means absolutely nothing because the rest of their team is trash. They're wasting what could be a historic defensive line. At number 2, I have TJ Watt. 6.5 sacks, one of 5 players in the NFL with 10 tackles for loss, and leads the NFL in forced fumbles with 4, which is insane. And at number 3, my guy, Will Anderson, somebody who the paralysis of analysis of this guy when he was coming out was really, really strong. I knew Will Anderson was going to be a future Defensive Player of the Year candidate because that one season he had at Alabama was maybe the most dominant season an edge rusher has ever had in college. You can argue it, and this year, 7.5 sacks and leads the NFL in tackles for loss with 11. But Kerby Joseph, he is right behind those guys, and those guys are all having excellent, excellent seasons. Any of them could potentially win it in any given year, and Kerby Joseph is right there. He's right there in terms of a valuability to his team and just excellent defensive play with all of those guys.
Yeah, and you know what's cool is that the Detroit Lions have identified players who we can say, you know what, this is their skill set. Like Amik Robertson, he said, look, man, this is what I do. And he punched out a couple fumbles, man. Kerby Joseph, and we see how he's now made it a trend. You want to test me in the end zone, do so at your own risk. We see what Brian Branch is doing. You want to test this guy on any level of the field. And it's cool to, and Aiden Hutchinson on that defensive line, that they identified players on every single layer of that defense that are specialists at things that for a long time, I was wondering, when are the Lions going to have their ball hawk? When are the Lions going to have that guy that consistently is ranking in the top this or top that of the interceptions? The way that these guys, just from a physicality standpoint, can go out there and bully another team. Like this squad, man, goodness gracious. When I hear people from Terry Foster talk about they go out there and their pregame isn't going through the normal BS that the other teams do. No, you'll see Amik Robinson out there punching the ball out. Like they're practicing this. You see the cornerbacks out there and the DBs out there saying, no, let's go through real drills. Like, I'm really trying to lock you up and get ready for this game. Like, their whole mentality and mindset is dominance, and they're practicing it. They're preaching it. They're listening to it, and we're seeing it come through. And now players, talk about a coach who's coaching up his players, bro, to excellence.
Yes.
That's an amazing thing, man, especially when we're sitting here hoping that on the college level, some of our programs can get this out of theirs. But the Lions are doing this now with multiple players that nobody called from the beginning. Like, these guys are going to be in Defensive Player of the Year races in the beginning when these guys were first drafted. Like, shout out to them, man. They know what they're doing.
I will say this, though. Spenny did call for Kerby Joseph to lead the NFL in interceptions. So if anybody called this, I would say that he did. He's not quite there yet, but Xavier McKinney's a pretty damn good football player himself. And I'm glad you mentioned, before we go to break and talk about some trades, trade possibilities. I'm glad that you mentioned Terry Foster and all of this, because he has turned into, in front of our own eyes, a
Talk
fan.
about it.
Because nobody is more...
It's beautiful to see.
Objective than Terry Foster. He has no ounce of fanboy in him when it comes to his analysis of the Lions. And when I see him on Woodward in Maine, when I just talk to him personally, I have never seen him this giddy about really any Detroit sports team, at least since I've known him. And it's so funny to see on that show, because you've even won over Terry Foster, because Matt Broder, with all due respect, he's more like us. He's great at what he does, but he's clearly a fan, as am I, as are you, Kool-Aid, KG, Chase, JB, all of us. But to win over Terry Foster, you've done something right.
You done something.
Yes.
And the Lions, man, I hope they keep doing it with the Packers on the horizon. But everybody, from Dan Miller to the Usses of the world, to the U's chat family of the world, we all believe something needs to be added. And now I'm hearing, before it was just an edge, now I'm starting to hear more and more people say what we were saying. They need to add a couple people.
And myself and KG have some scenarios. I'll just say that. And I want to kind of get your opinion on all of them, everybody in the room. But first, I got to tell you about Woodward and Maine. Speaking of Broder and Terry Foster, hey, Detroit, on game day, wake up with Woodward and Maine, your source for all the insider information on the defending NFC North champions, your Detroit Lions, with insight from Detroit sports media legend Terry Foster and rising star Matt Broder. Get ready, Detroit, every Sunday, 8 to 9 a.m. Woodward and Maine, brought to you by Tangerine Space Machine, to all your local long drink, Sabbath Coffee, and Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey. And then, of course, you got to go to the pre-game show featuring these guys right here, Neil Rule and Sean Belegian. Hey, that was Kool-Aid last night after the Pistons win. It's the New Holland Brewing Company pregame show. Every game day, Neil Rule and Sean Belegian bring you the best Lions pregame show. Sunday, 10 a.m. to noon on Woodward Sports, live at Second Best Bar in Detroit. The latest injury reports, fantasy season starts, and the inside scoop on your Detroit Lions. Join us for every Sunday home games live at Second Best Bar in Detroit, your official guide to Lions game day on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports, brought to you by Tangerine Space Machine, to all your local long drink, Sabbath Coffee, Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, and Les Stanford Chevrolet.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in the clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
It's bear hunting season, and Dan Campbell is hungry for some kneecaps.
If you can just get a hold of them and you start dragging their ass out to the deep, dark abyss, you can drown them.
The Kings of the North are back for another year of the brand new Lions. Make sure you're locked in to Detroit's #1 sports network for all the news and info on your Detroit Lions.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
I got to tell you guys about that Tangerine Space Machine, the new easy drinking IPA that is out of this world. It's smooth, it's juicy with refreshing crushability. Take your taste buds to the moon with the Tangerine Space Machine and this intergalactic haze of goodness. Hey, while you're hanging out at the bar tonight, if you're doing anything for Halloween, why don't you grab one of these from New Holland Brewing Company, straight made from Holland, Michigan, the official beer of outer space. I don't know if you knew about it, but hey, they know about this on the moon. New Holland Brewing Company, straight from Holland, Michigan, Tangerine Space Machine. But if that's not your thing, you know you always got Sabbath Coffee.
Hey, listen, and you know what Sabbath Coffee is good for? Fueling your Detroit sports fandom. You know what? Fueling your Wake Up Woodward and Woodward sports support as well, man. Hey, get the perfect cup and become a subscriber of Sabbath Coffee Roasters, whether you're gearing up for a big game or savoring a quiet morning. Sabbath Coffee Roasters has you covered with fresh, locally roasted specialty coffee delivered right to your door. Yeah, see, they treat you right, and you can do it all for a discount. What you got to do is visit www.sabbathcoffeeroasters.com, choose your favorite roast, and use code Woodward to receive 25% off your first subscription order. Awake and unwind, support local, and enjoy game day right with Sabbath Coffee Roasters. And we are back. What up, though, people? It's Wake Up Woodward. It's your boy Brandon Dent, a.k.a. Detroit Kool-Aid. Flannel Sam is in the building. We got intern Chase, a.k.a. Steve, from Blues Clues this morning. What up, though, brother?
Hey, what up, though? Happy Halloween, everybody. How's it going?
Hey, we got KG, Detroit's #1 draft pick in the sound booth. What up, though, Black?
What up, though, man? Chilling. How y'all feeling, man, on this Halloween?
Hey, feeling good. Snoop D-O-double-G.
Yes, sir. Death Row Records, man. What's up, nephew?
What's up? Women's Sports is MVP in the TD booth. JB Smooth, hey, dressed in Go Blue.
No, I am not.
Right here, Wolverine. A Walmart Wolverine.
No, never will be. Never, ever. But it's a good day, man. I love Halloween. I love October. Spooky season, everybody.
Spooky season, man. Shout out to Hunter Parker, man, the Chat family. Another super chat. Thank you guys for the support. Tone Diggs on the Pat McAfee show, who is an AP voter, has Kerby and Brian Branch on the list for Defensive Player of the Year. And as they rightfully should, those guys are balling out. And you know what? I just hope that in the end, if it's clear that those guys are the top two and their stats could be better, but because both of them are balling out, it's not, don't do the weird thing and split it and give it to who should be third. And that's if they get there. There's a lot for them to do to get there, but they've given themselves so much more of a chance than I actually thought. I thought they were going to ball out, but I didn't know that they were going to be, up there on the moon drinking freaking New Holland.
Shoot, if they're 1 and 2, I don't think it's going to happen because Dexter Lawrence is turning into a Dexter Donald and Aaron Lawrence right before our eyes. But who knows? Who knows? There's still a lot of season left to be played.
A lot of season left to be played, and despite how good they are playing, the Detroit Lions still have some needs if they want to be able to bolster the Super Bowl expectation. And there's some people out there, Neil Rule upon others, and Rod Beard, who believe, you know what? This team has what they need to get there, but to be able to win it, they're going to need that pass rush. They're going to need something on that defensive line or an edge that can definitely get after the quarterback and apply a lot more pressure than we've seen to help out Kerby and Brian Branch. I don't want that secondary to become overtaxed. And so I'm glad that KG, Flannel Sam, you guys prepared some options. I was like, I had some players, but I was like, you know what? I think that you guys would be able to come up with some more realistic options for the Detroit Lions to trade for.
Yes, and with my selection, I'm going more realistic. I'm going with something where you can confidently say that you're not mortgaging your future or anything like
so
that.
So my Myles Garrett for a 7th round future pick, that doesn't work then.
Oh, well, close, but no cigar. But this isn't the move. This isn't my favorite move of all, but this is one that I think the Lions could realistically make. And that is my my trade offer right now. And I'm willing to actually do some negotiating with it. Where I'm going to start is the Detroit Lions trade a 4th round pick for Zadarius Smith, who currently plays on the Cleveland Browns. And one of the reasons why I mentioned this one is there's actually some rumors surrounding Zadarius Smith, not necessarily with the Lions, but in terms of getting traded. Did you know Zadarius Smith missed practice yesterday? Did you know that there's a report from ESPN's Jeremy Fowler in which the Browns ask for Smith is a good third day pick, which, you know, a Lions 4th round pick might be the last pick in the 4th round, but it's still the 4th round. And with Zadarius Smith, the more I watch this Lions team play, the more I really like the fit, and the more I believe that even somebody like a Zadarius Smith can be the missing piece in the Lions from winning the Super Bowl to not winning the Super Bowl. And one of the reasons is that Zadarius Smith, he's an every down edge rusher. He's kind of more of an Aiden Hutchinson archetype. He's not a Sam linebacker. He's not a pass rush specialist. He's there damn near every single down. And I know he's getting a little bit older. I know you can say that he's benefited a lot from playing bookend to Myles Garrett, but this season, Zadarius Smith, he actually has more sacks than Myles Garrett. I'm not saying he's better, don't get it twisted, but he's got 5 sacks, which is tied for 14th in the NFL. He's got 24 pressures. He's decent, but not great against the run, but at least he provides them the ability to not have to blitz all the time.
Quick question, too, because I want to hear more about Zadarius Smith as well. Because I already see it in the chat as well. People are talking about Genovirus Smith is old. I've seen some other people. You know what? I want to pass on Smith. And JB, if you can get a chat poll up, let's see what people think. Zadarius Smith, if they agree with Flannel's vision on this one or not, and we'll do the same when KG presents his. I'm for it, especially if you believe that he has what you need to win a Super Bowl right now, because yours is going to come within that framework. It's like you're trying to make sure this team can stay on pace for what they have to do this season.
Well, I guess my counter to him being old is he's balling out this season. It's not based on what he has done. I know he's not what he once does. He's had 3 double-digit sack seasons, but this year he's on pace for his 4th. And I think the greatest testament I can give to this Detroit Lions organization is that I really do believe that they can be a Zadarius Smith away. It doesn't have to be a Myles Garrett or even a Trey Hendrickson. It can be a Zadarius Smith because at least he can win one-on-ones. And when you look at the rest of the Lions defense, you look at an interior that is really good with Lee McNeil, DJ Reader, and Levi Onwuzurike. You look at a linebacking core in which Jack Campbell has really had his second-year breakout. You got Anzalone. You've got the best safety tandem in the NFL. And you've got Carlton Davis, who's a clear upgrade over what they had last year, and a Terrion Arnold who's only getting better week to week. I just think if you add one more pass rusher to maybe put him on the defensive line in a rotation with like a Josh Paschal, or even, I can't believe I'm saying this name, like an Al-Qamin Muhammad, who actually led the team in pressures against the Tennessee Titans, given how good the rest of the defense is, given how elite this offense is, I really do believe the Lions are a Zadarius Smith away, and you really only need him to like empty the tank for one more year. Yes, he's under contract for next year as well, and he doesn't make a lot of money, but next year getting Aiden Hutchinson back, and if you even have Zadarius Smith give you something next year, just imagine that bookend duo. Yeah. So yes, I would say Zadarius Smith for a 4th round pick.
All right, let me tell you what the chat is saying here. We got to get them always involved. The real K77, we don't need them. Soft Jones, no 4th rounder for 32-year-old. But JJ, $5 super chat. Every other contender is adding to their team, so to sit here and think that we don't need to is foolishness. Randall Smalls wants to know, who does he replace? I thought that you kind of laid it out there.
Who does he replace? He's better than anybody that they have, dude. Rando Smalls has this fetish with them winning but not adding anybody. Who does he replace? He's better. Is he better than Josh Paschal?
Listen, you got some more. You got some more. You know what? Listen, JP17. Yes, Smith is older, but we don't need him long term.
We don't.
Jordan Linehart. Smith is better than anyone we have, and he's balling out.
All I'm saying.
And Terrell from FL. There's no legit reason why anyone shouldn't want Smith. I'd love to hear it. If you guys believe that we shouldn't, is there any other reason other than age? Do you believe he's going to decline? Because, as you're stating, the guy is balling out. That's why I'm just like, for right now, I don't have to care about next year. Win me a Super Bowl right now. That's what they want to do. That's what they stated they want to do. And I do believe that Zadarius Smith, I'm not saying that he is the absolute best option, but when you're trying to present your most realistic option that kind of protects also a little bit more of this future, I like Zadarius Smith.
And I forgot to mention, even Trevor Nowatzki being kind of emerging as a guy who's made a lot of big plays lately. If you just add Zadarius Smith, I think that I would say that the Lions, at least to me, are my personal Super Bowl favorites. Because the one thing that I've noticed a little bit too much in the Vikings and the Titans game, where there were many instances where Sam Darnold and Mason Rudolph could pretty much do their taxes back there and call their wives and then make a read and make a throw. I'm not saying it was every time. It's just I think it's going to hurt you against better quarterbacks, certainly. And you're about to potentially face a Jordan Love, although he might be hurt, and then you're about to face a CJ Stroud.
Freddie Felt brings he home in all caps. So we had to make sure we do a route. Shout out to our brother Freddie Felt. I see the rest of you two. IT Hips in the chat. Jay Alexander, Mike Reed, Randall Smalls, Phil, Vincent E. Man, I'm seeing you guys. Thank you all for being here. Brian Ruth. Let's run those likes up, man. We got a lot more to talk about. KG, man, what are you thinking about Zadarius Smith and the vision that Flannel Angelo painted for all of us today?
I'm not mad at it at all. You only gave up a 4th rounder for him, right? Yeah, I'm not mad at that at all, because I'm not somebody that's also, I don't want to mortgage that much of the future. It just depends on who you're trying to get. But I wouldn't be mad at that. But in that scenario, I would kind of hope that, maybe the Lions go out and get somebody else to add with Zadarius Smith, because I also feel at this point they just need bodies. But if it just were to be Zadarius Smith, I'm not necessarily mad at that. But it's a 4th round pick, man. You're not giving up that much capital. You still have Brad Holmes, who was a master drafter. I think that's a solid deal.
I like it. Chase, what about you, man?
Yeah, I mean, he's the type of player that would fit this team. He could versatile in the run and pass rush. So, I mean, whatever Brad thinks would be like the appropriate cost to bring in Zadarius Smith, I'm all for it. That type of player is someone who definitely helped the Lions out a lot.
I like that perspective as well, because obviously we can only do so much to try and assess the value. But in terms of knowing that, we believe that this is a player, regardless of value, that will step in here and help us right away. That's the main focus that you're putting forth, and that's kind of like the highlight of what you're saying as well. I love the part that it's like, well, it's not, we don't have to mortgage the future. You know what I mean? So we're still protecting that too, but just keeping this within the focus of right here, right now. I like that from you, Chase.
JB?
What up, though, JB?
I mean, I don't mind it either. We're only giving away a 4th. I mean, you're not hurting yourself. You're not mortgaging your future as well, too. And it's just a 4th round pick. I know Zadarius Smith isn't the sexiest name out there. It doesn't move the needle as much, but it's better, as Flannel said, than the guys that you have right now that play that position. So I would honestly take it if you can. Try and see if that'll work. But other than that, I'm seriously about F them picks. If we need to go out and get someone top tier to get to a Super Bowl, I'm so with that.
I'm so glad that you mentioned it, and I just want a quick rapid fire answers on this, because I want to get KG's trade perspectives or trade scenarios as well.
Yes, sir.
What if, let's just say, Brad Holmes offered a 4th round pick and the Cleveland Browns were basically hung up the phone and said, we want more, we're getting better offers. What if I were to say I would also throw in maybe a 2026 6th round pick in addition to that? I'd even go as high as a 2026 5th in addition to the 2025 4th. Does that change anything for you?
If it's about the Super Bowl this year and he can help us do that, you got to do it. I want to protect the future as much as it doesn't sacrifice a Super Bowl for this season. This team is special right now. To have lost an Aiden Hutchinson and still at least be able to more than tread water, it's do everything you have to do to take advantage of how special golf is looking right now. And Jahmyr Gibbs is looking right now. And how special Penei Sewell is looking right now. I saw we put up the thing that he was a man mover. Call him the people mover. You got to take advantage of how special that secondary is playing. AG is in his bag this year. I want them to be able to go and punch this home. So it's no, I'm not against that at all.
KG?
See, when we get to talking about multiple picks for Zadarius Smith, I start to, get leery a little bit. He's 32 years old. Not to say he isn't still producing, but I just don't know. The 5th round pick you mentioned, I don't know if I'm willing to go that far. That's solid capital. Maybe I would give them a 7th round, because there are 2 7th round picks that the Lions are in possession of. One from the Cowboys. I'll give them the Cowboys pick. Y'all can have that pick. That'll probably be the better pick of the 2. And if a fourth and a seventh don't get it done, then I'm probably piecing out.
That's where you tap out with the multiple.
Yeah.
Chase?
For Zadarius Smith.
Kind of back to what I was just saying. Whatever Brad thinks is going to be the appropriate cost to acquire him. I'm not going to get too deep into the weeds about like all of our picks. I'd have to kind of go back and refresh myself on what our draft cachet even looks like before I started to like make those decisions. But it sounds like the appropriate cost for that type of player.
JB, I know you already said F them picks.
For real, I'm gonna be honest, but I'd still kind of agree with KG as well too. If you're talking about a fourth and a fifth for Zadarius Smith, that might be actually just a little bit too much. But if you want to do the fourth and the seventh, all right, I'm cool with that. If the Browns want more, hell, we might want more too. So just fuck it, hell, we'll give you more picks for Myles Garrett, but you got to give us Myles Garrett though.
Ooh, well, that would obviously be.
Yep, in that poll.
Yeah.
Well, maybe y'all will find my trade proposals a little more tantalizing.
I'm sure.
Because I didn't mortgage the whole future, but we trying to do some things. We'll see.
What the chat family? Zadarius Smith, a trade or pass on him? 75% trade for him.
I like that.
Shout out chat family. So
like that.
Flannel Angelo must have painted that vision. That is a beautiful picture.
I do my best. But coming up,
That's right.
KG is going to paint an equally beautiful picture, I'm sure. But tell us about Lady Jane's first.
Hey, shout out to Black Da Vinci over there.
Hey, I'm trying.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy a $20 haircut special, a scalp massage, a hot lather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. You see, that's one of the talented stylists right there on the graphic. That could be you if you take advantage of the $20 haircut special. Just scan the QR code somewhere on the screen, and when you find it, you'll get the coupon today. Ladies and gents, Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. It's wicked awesome.
And while you're getting your haircut, play some bets with Caesar Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of us here at Woodward Sports. You can scan the QR code on screen, use code Woodward1000, deposit up to $1,000, and all you got to do is place a minimum of a $20 bet. If it doesn't hit, they will throw it right back into your account with no questions asked. The official sportsbook of us here at Woodward Sports is Caesar Sportsbook. Scan the QR code, use code Woodward1000, and make some money today.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
You and I pay our bills. Unlike my opponent, Dave Coulter, I won't take advantage of my job because I work for you. I'm Nick Jonai, and by the way, I do pay my water bills on time. And I approve this message.
Paid for by Nick Jonai for Oakland County.
Congratulations to the real Coach of the Year, Motor City Dan Campbell.
Just put your head down and go to work. It's about to be fun, man. It's about to be fun.
Woodward Sports.
Attention sports fans, don't miss out on expert sports injury insights with Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Join Dr. Pierce every Tuesday on Big The Energy and every Thursday on Ermanni and Edwards, who is offering you top-notch injury advice. You got to trust the guy that 4-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty trusts. Dr. Jeff Pierce is here to keep you in the game and performing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportsAndSpine.com or call 248-426-9944. And we are back. It is Wake Up Woodward. You just heard from Flannel Angelo. He painted a beautiful picture of Zadarius Smith to the Lions for at least a 4th round pick, or maybe a 4th and a 7th if it gets a little bit sweeter. You
4th
said.
in a future,
a
later
4th
round.
In the future.
A later round.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now KG.
Yeah.
Are you, because you went with the pick that you thought is probably the best value as well as helps us achieve the Super Bowl this year?
Kind of more on brand for what Brad Holmes would do as well.
That's right.
Yeah.
I like that. KG, I think you're swinging for the fences, huh?
Kind of, sort of. Like, okay. I got one that I feel is a little more on the grounded, realistic side, and I got one that I am trying to get the best I can get. Because, I mean, let's just be real here. How many opportunities are we going to get like this? We don't know. We assume that they are built for success, but if we can help it without mortgaging the whole future, because I'm also in the camp that you don't want to handicap yourself going forward when you have a Brad Holmes that's so great at drafting. So I got a graphic. JB put it up. I'll break down the reaching for the fences one first, because I mean the Cleveland Browns, man, this was hard for me to pass up. I was really trying to avoid doing this. Zadarius Smith, listen, I'm not mad at that, but why have Zadarius Smith when you can go get Myles Garrett? JB, if you flash that graphic up there for me, I will break down that trade
Give
first.
me 1 second. I gotta.
All right, cool. Well, I'll break it down while you fishing the graphic for the audience. So, in order to get Myles Garrett, Cleveland sends Myles Garrett, and we send a 2025 first-round pick, a 2025 fourth-round pick, and a 2026 fifth-round pick. Now, I'm not in the camp of giving up 2 firsts. I feel like that's a tad too much when you're looking at what the Cleveland Browns situation really is. They are $40 million over the cap. They have a franchise quarterback that is not, what they signed up for. All that money that they're giving to Deshaun Watson is literally going down the drain. Eventually, they are going to have to go get a quarterback. So whether they want to do that this year or next year, that's on them. But I will arm them with the capital to go do that, because in this year's draft coming up, let me go pick it up. So
yes, sir.
They don't have a 5th round pick, but they have 3 6th round picks. And all the other picks they have are their own picks. So if you arm them with an extra first rounder, then you can do whatever you want in the draft. You can move up the board. You can move down the board. You can go get your quarterback. You can go get whoever you want, essentially. And you got those 3 6 round picks to kind of help sweeten whatever trade deals you want to make within the draft. So I think this is best case scenario for the Cleveland Browns. Listen, y'all franchise is failing. You need to do something to stop the bleeding.
You got to plead it. Make the case.
Take this extra first round pick, and we're also giving you this year's 4th, very valuable, what they got going on. And then the next year's 5th is I feel, solid value. I'm not willing to go further than that. If it doesn't work, then hey, I'm hanging up the phone.
Look,
but what y'all feel about
the
that?
Chad family loves the IT Hips. I love it, KG, but I just don't see the Browns trading him. Lone Spoon, they won't take it. They don't believe it's enough, but I thought you made a compelling argument there, man.
Thank you.
I do believe you made one. What do you think, Flannel?
All right, so I tend to believe that if I'm the Browns, I'm not making this deal. If I'm the Lions, you put Brad Holmes in the Hall of Fame right away. But before he even finishes his career.
Is it that bad of a deal?
No. And here, let me give some a reason why Cleveland might actually do this to be more positive, because as I've said before, I am a changed man.
Yes. No, it's all good. One real quick before you go through that, if we were to do this deal right here, the Lions would still have a 2nd round pick, a 5th round pick, a 6th round pick that they got from the Buccaneers in the Carlton Davis trade, and you still have 2 7s. So you're still looking pretty good for the draft yourself if you were to do this deal.
And what, just remind everybody again, Myles Garrett's contract situation as well.
Yeah, so the reason why you have to give up a first in this deal is because you're getting him at a bargain. He has 3 years left on his deal at $20 million each year, man. So that's you more than getting that return back on investment. So this is why I'm willing to give up this amount of capital, but I'm not willing to go further than that because I feel like Cleveland is kind of in a desperate situation. So either you want to take this or that's fine. You can just rot in hell.
Yes. And you know what? I'll give a reason why Cleveland might do it, although if I'm the Cleveland GM, I am not. You look at what they're going through right now. Obviously, they're crippled by the worst contract in sports, Deshaun Watson. And, Myles Garrett is another one who he doesn't make as much money as he should, but just getting him off of your books might help accelerate a potential rebuild, because it doesn't matter how well Myles Garrett's playing this year, or Zadarius Smith for that matter. They're still 2-6, and I don't think Jameis Winston is going to be enough to turn them around and do a franchise he's not going to be a franchise quarterback and turn them around into a playoff contender. When you look at the Browns, they kind of got themselves a little bit of a war chest right now in next year's picks, even without these. Here's what this trade would give Cleveland next year. It would give them 2 firsts, including their own, which is going to be a high pick.
There you go.
It's giving them a 2nd. They have 2 thirds already, their own and the 3rd round pick they got from the Amari Cooper trade.
Yep.
They would have, it looks to me like 2 fourths.
Yeah, 2 fourths?
2 fourths.
I saw 3 6s, but
They have their own picks in
okay.
first through the fourth round. So they'd have their fourth and then the Lions fourth. They'd have 2026. I don't know their pick selection off the top of my head, but right now it would give the Cleveland Browns still three sixth-round picks. So 2 firsts, a second, 2 thirds, 2 fourths, and then 3 sixes.
Yeah. You can do whatever you want in the draft.
That's pretty nice. If they can hit on some of those picks,
you're the monopoly man in the draft.
That could really, really accelerate some things. And hell, even if the Cleveland Browns all of a sudden, I don't know, make a run without Myles Garrett, which I don't know how they could, but like you still have a war chest isn't just for making your own picks. If you want to make some trades, or if you even want to trade up in this next draft and get yourself a quarterback, especially with the Deshaun Watson situation, the point is that Cleveland would have a war chest,
and they need that right now. You talk about taking a serious step backwards.
That's the only way you
headed in the right direction. And with the draft picks, you look at what the Washington Commanders were able to do by changing their culture through some of the players that they drafted. And Jaden Daniels was talking about that as well. It was cool to see Mikey Sanders still walking up to him after the Hail Mary and everything, and seeing some of the players that they drafted to help be a part of, and big reasons why this team is now winning. I think that is part of the same concept here when you're talking about the Cleveland Browns. If you're trying to convince them that, listen, if you believe in what your guys can do with these extra draft picks, and you want to make sure that you don't have this kind of step back turn into multiple steps back, then maybe these draft picks are the way forward for you too.
Yeah, and I don't know necessarily if Cleveland's GM is going to know exactly what to do with them. I'm looking at last year. Isaiah McGuire was actually a really nice value pick for them, but I'm looking at some of their recent drafts, and it's, I would say, more misses than hits as of right now, although you can't really judge it quite yet. But you look at the 2021 draft, they got Greg Newsome and Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, who's a hell of a player himself. I already mentioned Isaiah McGuire in last year's draft. But the point is that if Cleveland makes this trade, they would have a war chest. It's just, I would demand 2 firsts. And if I were a Lions fan, or if I were Brad Holmes, I would give him 2 firsts.
I was just about to ask that as well. What do you guys think? In chat family, would you? I already see some people who believe that this deal would be too rich for them to deal out for Myles Garrett, but you're talking about multiple years of control. When you talk about building for longevity of success, well, Aiden Hutchinson comes back and you have Myles Garrett on this squad.
Best edge rusher duo ever.
That's what I'm talking about. You want to talk about longevity? Well, this is a situation where even though you see these draft picks going out, I don't necessarily believe that it is destabilizing the Detroit Lions' future and their ability to win for a long time. Yeah. You're going to have Kerby and Brian Branch back there doing work with Aiden Hutchinson and Myles Garrett right on that defensive line. Hey, bro, here, you need an extra first? It's steep, but we've all been there. We've been there. Let the PS5 and the Xbox drop, and then the PS6 drop.
Yeah.
This is tight. Right. And we're going to take that box home and no Super Bowl for me. So I'm kind of for that. If the Detroit Lions can make something like this work, yeah, it starts to make you sweat a little bit more and more, but I'm just like, you know what? I just can't even imagine this. You talk about what this would do for our crazy rabid dog linebackers. I'm for it.
It has the potential to be a win-win trade for both. But if I'm a Cleveland fan, I don't necessarily trust their GM. But that's another story for another day. But let's get
That's why you can fleece them, man.
Let's get Chase and JB's opinion on a KG's trade. What do you think, Chase?
Oh, if we could get Myles Garrett, that'd be awesome. He's not only did KG highlight it with his contract, but we get Hutch back next year too. So that duo of Hutch with Myles Garrett for what we imagine to be at least the next 3 years would be a very, very formidable pass rush. We got Aleem locked up, DJ Reader in the middle. Let Josh Pascal get some rotational work, and then we got the emergence of Jack Campbell leading the team in tackles right now. Kerby Joseph, Brian Branch, Terrion Arnold. I mean, our defense would be as loaded as our offense is. I mean, even maybe more stacked.
JB?
This defense gonna be sick. F them picks.
Hey! Wait. Bar King? Is that a bar?
Confirmed.
There we go.
Bring me Myles Garrett. I don't care.
I love it. Love it. Hey, KG, if somehow they can pull this off.
Dante 151 499 super chat. Shout out to you, Dante. Could we throw in Javi Baez to be the water boy for the Cleveland Browns so we can get him away from the Tigers' young talent?
They would definitely need probably 3 firsts.
He said we will still pay Baez.
Well, there you go. But KG, I want to hear, is the second trade a little bit more not as splash?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, all right.
But it's still a player that I feel if you're just getting one player, he can come in here and he can make an instant impact. He will be an instant upgrade to your defensive line. And JB, if you have that graphic ready, I'm going to get Trey Hendrickson. Because what the hell are the Bengals doing? Listen, you can't keep going 0-3, 0-4 and think you're going to crawl out this hole. You still have problems on your offensive line. The defense looks atrocious this year. And y'all eventually going to get Joe Burrow hurt again. Not wishing injury on the man, but I'm just saying.
Please don't do that.
I'm just going off what I see.
Please
going off what I see.
You know, that's my fantasy quarterback in our league. Listen,
I understand.
And that was my defense. And they got me negative points this week. I'm hot. Get off of the Bengals and come to the Lions.
Listen, I totally get it, and I rock with Joe Cool, but the way this is trending, if they don't find a way to add to this team and turn this thing around, then they are going to waste the great combination of Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. And speaking of Jamar Chase, the reason why I'm not giving up a first in this deal is because the Bengals have a lot of people coming off the books in 2025 and 2026, and they are going to have to re-sign Jamar Chase, who is a free agent in 2026. So you can't keep everybody. You're losing a lot of people off of your defense and offensive line in the next 2 years. So you need to amp up in the draft. So I'm willing to give you a this year's second and a this year's 6th round pick. That leaves the Lions still in pretty good position. And then I'm giving you a next year's 4th as well to kind of sweeten the pot because, listen, they're not going to be able to keep everybody. And then you get Trey Hendrickson. On the Lions end, we still have to maybe extend this guy. You're going to have him for one more extra year after you trade for him. So which means you'll have him through 2025. He'll be an $18 million cap hit. After that, he's a free agent. So if I'm working from the basis that I have to re-sign him, then I need to at least keep some of my capital in case I lose him.
So his contract expires about the same time Aiden would need to be paid?
Exactly.
Okay.
Now you're getting it. Now you're cooking with grease.
This is interesting.
Yeah.
If I would take it as a Lions fan, I would love to see Trey Hendrickson here. I think he could potentially almost completely replace the production of Aiden Hutchinson. I don't think he's as good as Aiden, but you've seen what he can do, at least in terms of production. And he's reuniting with his old defensive line teammate, DJ Reader. 17 sacks
and he
year.
would have a really good defense behind him as well.
Yeah, he would. If I'm Cincinnati,
this ain't the worst deal.
No, I was about to say, I took a quick look at what they have in terms of their war chest for next year. Just judging by what I see, they're not really.
They have all their own picks.
I was gonna say, like they don't. It doesn't look like they really engage in trading picks very often. So they have all of their own. So they have 7 picks, their own picks in rounds 1st through 7. So they'd have 2 seconds, 2 6th, and then the same story for the 2026 draft. It looks like they have all of their own. So they'd have multiple 2nd round picks and multiple 6th round picks this year, and then multiple 4th round picks next year, along with all of their own draft picks. And honestly, I've seen scenarios that only a 2nd rounder was offered. If I'm Cincinnati, I'm probably doing this.
Thank you.
Honestly.
You got to jump on this. I'm giving you extra ammunition because I really feel like a 2nd and a 6th should be able to get this done. But if that's not your cup of tea, I'll give you a little something for next year as you begin to retool what the Bengals are going to look like going forward because you have to re-sign Jamar Chase. Joe Burrow, that's your best chance at winning is having Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase together. Joe Burrow's already dealt with. He's there through 2030. So if you get him re-signed, you won't be able to keep Trey Hendrickson, in my opinion.
I'm hoping one of these 3 deals that you all presented happen. I really do. And just kind of looking at the deals in particular, there are with Cincinnati and with the Browns, it's 2 teams there that, they had expectations coming into the season.
Yeah.
Big expectations. But they're squads that we hear them talk to these games all the time, but as it relates to actually coming through on those expectations, whatever the recipe in the mix is, it's not working. And we've seen them try this for some time. At this point in time, if these types of deals aren't attractive to them, I don't know how serious they are or aren't about changing what their current recipe is to get a different outcome.
Yeah.
So It's attractive.
Yeah.
Like
as
I said,
currently
selfish and hoping
constructed,
it
they
happens.
can't get to the Super Bowl as currently constructed. They got to do something in the coming year.
Imagine if you'd have been told before the season that Joe Burrow was going to put up arguably best quarterback in the league numbers, and Jamar Chase was going to lead the NFL in receiving yards, and they would be 3-5. It's
weird.
It's unbelievable. I actually feel bad for Joe Burrow
I do
because
too. Yeah.
my
they wasting him.
My take on this is that. My usual take on this is that if you've got Joe Burrow, if you've got Jamar Chase, if you've got Trey Hendrickson on the defensive side of the ball, you should make the playoffs. Even if you're 3-5, you shouldn't think about selling just yet. However, I'm looking at some of the games that they still have to play on their schedule. They've let some slip away. Like, they feel like they should have definitely beat the Commanders, the Ravens, and then they, of course, dropped that awful one to the Patriots in week 1. With how cheap their owner is, I just And this is a good deal for them. I really think so.
Yeah, I think so too, man. And the reason why I didn't want to give up a first as well is because Trey Hendrickson is 29. If they were to accept this deal, by the time you have to re-sign him, he'll be 31. So I didn't want to necessarily come out of a first round pick. Would I be? I don't know if I would actually do a first round. Would you guys like substitute that second for a first?
No.
Yeah,
because it's Trey Hendrickson. It's not Myles Garrett. With all due respect to Trey Hendrickson.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so I
2
felt like
years
this
rather
was
than
good.
3.
And also, this keeps the Lions in a good position. If they were to do this deal, you still have your first, your fourth, your fifth, and the Lions have 2 7s. So you're still sitting pretty good in the draft as well. So
Hey, Stick said Garrett is the closest statistically to Hutch. You know, if they find a way to do that, that would be awesome. Like you guys said, that's my selfish desire. Do something. A lot of chat, they're on the side of, does he really need to do something? Just trust in Brad Holmes. Whatever he decides is what's best. And I know that we're all gonna rock with whatever Brad Holmes decides to do because he has earned that. But that doesn't stop us from having at least some fun exercise and conversation. Because I liked being able to hear you guys' perspective. Now I've learned so much more about sports than I even thought I knew just from other people's perspectives, man. Keeping those ears open.
Yeah, and honestly, when it comes to trust in Brad,
yeah,
if he does nothing, I hope he doesn't. I'm not going to light this studio on fire or anything like that. I will come to terms with it. I personally would be a little bit disappointed, and I don't think it's the best path moving forward. But Brad Holmes has built this team into a Super Bowl contender for a reason.
And listen, this team is at a point now where you don't need to keep adding young players. I know it's nice, and you don't want to trade away your whole future because fifth-year options are valuable. You know, rookie contracts are valuable. But the Lions are good now, folks, and they have built this thing to where it's sustainable. They don't necessarily need all their picks going forward. So if you want to take a little risk, it's there for you to do in order to ensure, you know, postseason success.
Shout out to Rando Smalls with the $10 super chat. There are guys we don't even know are available. I say wait and see. And that's the fun of it because realistically, who can say that last year was the wrong decision? They got further than a lot of people expected and a lot of people predicted. Brad Holmes said, we feel like we have exactly what we need to make a Super Bowl run. And we saw they actually did. They cost themselves a lot. So I'm going to trust whatever Brad Holmes does. But this is an intriguing and interesting time. And you know what? They tell us let it go. Dan Campbell is the one up there on the podium stoking stuff. It's a fun time. And we're now, as fans of a team with Super Bowl expectations, we're all learning how to kind of have fun with this as well.
Yes.
So,
and just remember, Rando, the trade deadline, it's coming up. You can't wait forever. Because if you wait forever, you're gonna let it pass you by.
Yep.
I'll just say that. I know you're dying. You are dying to see them do nothing and for the Lions to win the Super Bowl anyway, so you can have one over on me. But I'm just saying I don't think that's the best move. But as I said before, I am going to put this out in the open now. Whatever happens, I'm not going to light the world on fire. I'm going to disappointedly accept and see what happens. But I do think he's going to make a move. I still do. Trade deadline, it's close, but it's also, there's a few more days.
Hey, shout out to 9mm. He said KG is cooking.
Yes, he is.
Hey, you know what? And I see the love in the chats for some people as well. This was pretty good, especially as we get a little bit closer to that trade deadline. And Stick hit us with a little bit of that TLP actually. What are we talking, Ivy? Talk actually some TPB. Some talk Pistons. Let's go. We got to talk about it. They do win their first game of the season. They did it largely Due to whether they decided to make the switches or not, they were forced into some narratives that we actually discussed on yesterday's Woodward Pistons. They do win 105-95. We got to talk about it. That's right, it's on me. Now, more than ever, it is critical for you to have your insurance reviewed. Swiss Insurance will make sure your current carrier is not slipping in anything extra, especially no fees. All you got to do, call our guy Mark at Swiss Insurance today. That number, 313-530-1698, or visit them online, SwissINS.com, and let them know that Woodward Sports sent you.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
You and I pay our bills. Unlike my opponent, Dave Coulter, I won't take advantage of my job because I work for you. I'm Nick Jonai, and by the way, I do pay my water bills on time, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Nick Jonai for Oakland County.
Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward Sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward and Maine, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and woodwardsports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game, it's wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah!
Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Have you ever thought about volunteering but don't know where to start? Start with the Salvation Army's Red Kettle campaign. Visit registertoring.com to sign up for shifts. You'll have an option to choose a 2-hour session at a physical Red Kettle site or participate in a virtual bell ringing shift to raise funds from the comfort of your own home. Virtual bell ringers can sign up and begin raising funds at any time. Traditional bell ringing begins on Friday, November 7 and runs through Christmas Eve, excluding Thanksgiving and Sundays. To sign up for volunteer shifts, visit registertoring.com.
And did somebody say merch?
Detroit
Head over to
Sunshine.
woodwardsports.com. Click on that shop tab. Dropping new designs every single week. We are currently sold out of the Detroit sign shirt. Sorry, Kool-Aid. We don't have
Out of
those
stock.
anymore. Those are
I
gone
bought
right
them
now.
all.
Right.
They're in your closet.
We'll
somewhere
let
for
you know
sure.
when the next shipment comes.
Yeah, we'll keep you notified. But you know we got the Stoke Not Scared. You know we got the Boo Them Kids. And you can't forget about the Woodward Tigers as well, too. We got everything you need to get stocked up this season. So head over to woodwardsports.com. Click on that shop tab. Get swagged out.
Hey, what up, though, people? Welcome back to Wake Up Woodward. We are back. It's your boy Brandon Dent, a.k.a. Detroit Kool-Aid, your credential Pistons reporter and writer for the network. Flannel Sam, the vet of the squad and the network, all sports, everything, nowhere, Red Wings correspondent, and Flannel Angelo as well, man. Those trades last segment between he and KG, I'm just like, let's go, let's get cooking. But obviously, whatever Brad Holmes decides, we rock with. That's what it is. And we got to talk Detroit Pistons. They beat the Philadelphia 76ers 105-95 to win their first game of the season. And I hear people already, oh, well, Paul George and Joel Embiid didn't play. Well, we saw this team lose last year to the same type of recipe. Like, stop me if you've heard this thing before. The Pistons were playing a team without their top players, and Tyrese Maxey went off for 32 points. Last year, that's a win or a loss, Flannel Sam?
That's a loss.
That is a loss.
Big loss.
This year,
Big loss.
This year, this team, they did some different things. You're not going to do too much to stop a Tyrese Maxey, but I liked what they did in this game. Starting with that backcourt, we got a little bit more gritty Tobias Harris, a lot more gritty Tobias. He was very gritty. Despite the shot not falling, what do you want a shooter to do if it's not falling? Bro, make something happen. He did that last night. And there was this wrinkle that JB Bickerstaff, I believe, was forced into, and that was playing Isaiah Stewart a heavy 34 minutes last night. 11 rebounds and 3 blocks.
Yeah, Beef Stew came with it, bro.
He came with it, and it's what they've been missing. It's why I was clamoring for Nick Claxton. Not that I want Jalen Duren to go anywhere, but that you have to have that type of presence in the middle for your team to have success in this NBA. And the problem is that it's a little bit more difficult, I believe, for Beef Stew to do that consistently. But one of the other things, just because I want to get everyone's takeaways as well, one of the other things that I liked that they put into effect, Jaden Ivey at the end of quarters, at the end of the second quarter, 2-hand dunk. And he was the guy with the ball in his hand. Cade was playing off ball. At the end of the third quarter, Jaden Ivey, a couple big plays. And down the stretch, Jaden Ivey, very active. That backcourt combined for 45 points. Got busy in the paint as well. They were just tough all the way around, brother.
Oh, yeah. And I know Stick is in the chat just wilding out about Jaden Ivey. And honestly, you know what? I didn't think that it was going to ever work with Cade and Ivey playing together. And honestly, so far in these first 5 games, I have been proven wrong on that. Because let me just... And I know we want to talk about last night too, but let me just read you their numbers through the first 5 games. Cade is averaging 26, 6, and 7 on 47, 40, 86 splits. Jaden Ivey 21, 4, and 4 on 48, 43, 75 splits. They've been excellent. There's really nothing that you can say bad about them except occasionally, like the fourth quarters haven't necessarily been the best, but they've been the driving force of the Pistons and what they've done, even being in some of those games that they eventually ended up losing. But hey, Philadelphia, I got to say this as well. There's a new sheriff in town, and that's this Detroit Pistons, because you're not just going to sit Paul George and Joel Embiid and still cruise to a victory. Not like last year. This is a new Pistons team, and I get it. We saw some troubling signs in the first 4 games, but we all knew that it was different. We all knew that this was a Pistons team that if they played cohesive, if they played together, if some of the veterans stepped up, that they could win some games. They could even steal some that you wouldn't think that they would win. And last night, I kind of thought going into it that it was a must-win in some ways. And you know what? The Pistons, they put the foot on the throats. They were ahead 18 at the end of the third, and they won by double digits. You love to see it. You love to see them finish primarily by way of Tobias Harris and Tim Hardaway Jr.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and that's the thing. We wanted to see the vets step up in that fourth quarter so that we could see balance. They do need more off of their bench, and that's why part of me still wants to see Tim Hardaway off the bench, not due to anything that he didn't do to deserve to start. That man has been absolutely much better than everybody who I saw when they first announced Tim Hardaway is coming here. This man has been a bucket, and he's been hot from behind arc. I got some more numbers for you.
Love it.
That I'm serious because because this is why I'm saying, like, despite they almost won the start and they win their first game of the season. They're 1-4, and they defeated a team that didn't have their best 2 players. There are trends that show you that as this team continues throughout the season and they get their legs underneath them, they get that chemistry underneath them, and they understand the level of defense. You got to take that defensive effort last night and bottle that up. Why? Because those rebounds. Let's talk about some of these stats, bro. The rebounding effort last night, man. And I get it. Joel Embiid did not play, and he does sway things. But to go out there and have 49 rebounds to 37. That shows that this team made a concerted effort to get into the paint and to get dirty. The blocks were up for the Detroit Pistons across the board as well. Tobias Harris got a block. Cade Cunningham got another block. And obviously Beef Stew got his 3 blocks too. And one of the numbers that I really like that should help fans say, you know what, let me give this team a little bit more time to see what they're going to do is this. And this is via JD Sports tweets. Shout out to him, friend of the show. And he's helped out with some Woodward Pistons content as well. He says, this is encouraging. Of the players who have attempted 5 or more threes a game, right? We've got 4 of those guys now. Malik Beasley, Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey, and Tim Hardaway Jr., right? Beasley, 14 for 37, shooting 37.8%. Cade, 14 of 35, shooting 40%. Ivy, 12 of 28, shooting 42.9%. Tim Hardaway Jr., 16 of 30, shooting a blistering 53 point. Ooh. Tim Hardaway, just go blue to you. Fred Vincent. I mean, the Vincent factor, don't put the question mark, JD. Put the exclamation. Because these boys, you can see the work. And you know what name you don't see there that I'm actually happy I don't see? Tobias. Why? Because the vet knows if the shot ain't falling, don't take 5 3-point attempts a game.
Right.
That's the point. So the guys that are hitting are the guys getting the shots. And that is beautiful to see. This is something that I do believe is sustainable. We're starting to see. If this squad can bring the defense, and if Jaden Ivey can continue to be that, you know what? I used to think 15-point scorer. You know what? Go be that other 20-point scorer guy. We expect Tobias Harris to be the number 2, I think, when he got paid and he brought it. That's supposed to be Jaden Ivey's job. And what we saw last night was exactly that. We got a backcourt that's really a 1A and a 1B, and everybody else falls in line after that. If we're going to sit around and expect Tobias to be that guy, I don't expect him to go out there and do what I saw Jaden Ivey do and get the 23 and be punishing at the rim that way. That's his job, and I believe there's an open lane for him to absolutely take, not just being the number 2 by default, but because you're going out there and putting in the work like we saw last night.
Finishing at the rim strong, making his threes, playing better defensively. Hey, Jaden Ivey, maybe he's actually benefiting from a coach who believes in him, unlike Monty Williams. And for the record, Stick, it's 1A, 1B. You act like Jaden Ivey's a superstar and Cade Cunningham is Michael Carter Williams. So don't victory lap just yet. This is but I will say this. I had fading belief in Jaden Ivey, and he's winning me over again. So I got to give him that. He has been more than I could have ever imagined, which in a lot of ways it makes it all the more disappointing that they're 1-4 instead of having a couple of wins. But still, I don't want to say they stole one last night, but as I said, it's disrespectful to be the team that everybody thinks they can rest their best players against and still beat.
You got to go out there and punch them. And that's why I'm glad that they held them under 100 and Maxey went off. And they had players that generally go off on us. Drummond generally just does weird, stupid things in games that we lose to when he's playing. And it's just like, man, and you know what? Man, I don't even know if I should put this out. I know somebody connected to Jaden Ivey is really happy, and he says, bro, I love JB as it relates to JB Bickerstaff. And I would just put it like that. They will get over the hump soon. They are playing well. Yeah. And this is from somebody whose sports opinion, I promise you, I trust. Someone who's been a pro athlete and somebody who understands what's going on. And it's like to understand that what they felt last year, for Jaden Ivey to stay professional through this all, that's what made me bullish that he and Cade could work. When I saw him in those last 15 games of the season, because I said, let me just see who Jaden Ivey's going to be, because it's almost decision time, I saw a player that I said, you know what? He's one I'm bullish on. Yeah. I love Jalen Duren, but he's one that you guys heard me say, I kind of want to get some more help in here. But Jaden Ivey's one I said, he's going to have to be that guy, but he's going to have to step up. Yeah. And this year, he's doing it.
He is. And you mentioned something before, and I don't know if this is the conversation that people are quite ready for yet. You mentioned the rebounds. You mentioned the blocks. Guess who was on the bench for the majority of that game? Just got to put that out there.
I've been trying to have the conversation, but in a much more diplomatic way for the last 7 months.
Isaiah Stewart is your best center right now.
Your best defender in the paint.
And that's not okay. I mean, I love what Isaiah Stewart is giving them defensively.
But he's undersized.
He is undersized, and he's not even like giving you anything scoring wise.
And he can't do this every night. Like, depending on who he's going against, you can get away with this against Andre Drummond. I mean, come on now.
Yeah, come on,
against better centers in the NBA, it's not happening.
Duren fouled out in 11 minutes, and there was no Embiid.
It's crazy.
Do you all remember when we talked about this some months back, maybe February or March, and we talked about some free agent options while the season was going on? Yeah. And I was like, dog, man, like in December, I wrote the article, and people came at me like, bro, you're giving up on him, you're this, you're that. And now this is interesting because my whole stance this entire time has been, no, I think he needs someone here that can show him. Stewart is a little bit undersized and plays a little bit different, but I thought that a Nick Claxton would be somebody that could help a Duren. Yeah. And that JB Bickerstaff in particular is somebody who we know has gotten the best out of playing multiple bigs like that. And then you can actually explore Duren more into this offensive versatile type role outside of the paint a little bit more, so you're not clogging it when he and Claxton are in the game. Like that's what I wanted to see. But this is why I also clamored for, we got to get somebody in here, because remember, we went through the defensive ratings. We went through the defense ratings of the team. We went through just where Claxton's were versus Duren's and everyone else's, and that he still needs time to develop. But they have to do something, because you guys see the impact of a Stewart against a Drummond. Yeah, that's going to make a big impact. That's what's missing. If they don't do something to kind of get that on this team, I do believe that they'll be taking some wins away from themselves.
Yeah, because you're not always going to be playing Andre Drummond. No. All due respect to him, but the Sixers rested their superstar center because he doesn't play back-to-backs anymore. And whether or not the outcome would have been different if he played, I think the point is that the Pistons just they needed that win almost for their own pride at that point. You just can't be the NBA's punching bag anymore. And through the first 4 games, I'm not saying they were a punching bag. They let a couple slip away. And I'm also happy to see Tobias Harris have his best game with his new
and he got
Pistons
booed
role.
in Philly, man. That's crazy. Booed after 5 years. I understand it didn't end the best way, but for them to go out there and boo my mans, that's a little crazy. But he responded, man. 18 and 14.
14
that's
rebounds.
14 rebounds from Tobias Harris. That's a dream
and
scenario.
one dunk.
Yes.
And one layups. I'm getting busy when it counts, like
getting easy looks when his shot isn't falling, when his shot still isn't falling.
Getting to the rim, back to the basket. Like, yeah, man. He was in his bag last night, for lack of better words. I know the shot wasn't consistent, but overall, this is the type of efforts that you need from your veterans. I mean, look at how Tim Hardaway stepped up in the fourth quarter. Some big three-pointers. And like you pointed out, Kool-Aid, the biggest difference is the three-point shooting. They shot 41% last night as a team.
You know what helps that, too?
What?
Beast Stew. And I talk about this too, and I thought I was weird at first for talking about it, but it's just growing up, like, you guys understand it. You're growing up with teams and coaches. These are the things that are in your head. But, box out, set heavy screens, set bone-crushing screens. We're going to talk about the three-pointers. Tim Hardaway made back-to-back threes at the 6:05 mark and then at the 5:50 or 5:40 mark. That really, at that point in time, you knew this game is definitely done. And the Philly had cut the game from about 16 to 10 or about 11. Beef Stew was battling in there and grabbed the offensive rebound, made a perfect pass back out to Tim Hardaway, who was wide open. The very next play, Tim Hardaway passed it to Tobias. Tobias passed it right back, ran off a rub of Isaiah Stewart. Isaiah Stewart went and set a pick for Tim Hardaway. Where was the defender at all? He was out of the picture completely because Stewart, man, he was putting in so much grit that's not going to show up on the stat sheet. And those things do contribute too, because now you got Tim Hardaway wide open. Last year, one of my big complaints was Cade is coming off pick and rolls and the defender is like, hi, I'm still here. But this year I'm seeing guys like Stewart, when he's in there, those pick and rolls, that type of stuff matters when you're talking about NBA speed and spacing.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought up that part of the game. The part of the game that I felt like it turned was in the second quarter, because that first quarter, it was kind of trending like this was going to be a bad Pistons loss. It was no chemistry, a lot of bad, silly fouls, moving screens, turnovers, and they got to get over this turnover bug. That is one thing that is really limiting this team and holding this team back. But I felt like they could have let this game get away. They were down 7, but going into that second quarter, I mean, Cade Cunningham, he just started going off, man. And the interior defense improved. You started to see a little bit of Jaden Ivey, and in the middle of the second quarter, they went on a 15-0 run that put them up 7, and from there, they didn't look back. They pretty much had to lead the rest of the game. So, and it was times where, they were up 21, but they let it fall, to like 12 or 14. But ultimately, they did not let this slip, and it's because you were able to lean on your veterans at the end. When your young guys, they gave you a good second and third quarter, and they kind of gassed out. When you needed them most, that's when they came through.
Because if this was the other way around, it would be like Tyrese Maxey had, 32 points. Why didn't he will his team to win?
Yeah.
Maybe Tyrese Maxey sucks, like they say about Cade Cunningham. Like, I hate that narrative, because it's clear that Cade Cunningham is a difference maker. And last night, when you get the balance that these additions were supposed to provide, you see that this guy's usage rate goes down, his efficiency goes up. He was 50%, 4 of 8 from behind the arc last night. That's a good thing.
And Jaden Ivey as well, you got to give him credit for how he played. Because really in that third quarter, when Cade had to sit down, they were able to efficiently run the offense through Jaden Ivey, and he was getting to the basket. He was hitting threes. He was passing a little bit. Still, he still need to work on some of the little minor mistakes, but overall, he's looking more polished. I really do feel like this can work, but this is why I said you need to stagger Ivey a little bit, because you're not getting a lot out of your bench right now either. I mean, Malik Beasley, he had 3 3-pointers, but where is Fontecchio, man? He is not showing up.
With Cade. This is the thing I've been saying since last season as well, and he has to play with K. You got to give it into that starting lineup next to him, somebody who is going to draw that attention. And I do like the way at the end of quarters, Cade and Ivey were working. That's why I'll definitely tell people, check out how they're working, because Ivy took over a little bit more of that ball handling role. And Cade, for some reason, I remember the two-handed dunk that Ivy got at the end of the half. The defender on Cade refused to leave Cade.
Yeah.
That's what created the dunk lane for Jaden Ivey. The drive lane was created because it was a great screen by Stewart. But the dunk lane came because the defender literally looks back at Ivy, but then puts his hand back out at Cade, and Ivy two-hand dunk. What's he going to do? And so it's like, if they can find a way to continue that, and I know a lot of film study is what's going to take there, as well as a coach who understands how to break down that film for their players.
That's the real key. Because Ivy looks like his growth was stunted last year, but it looks like he can't take that next step with Cade, them both being on the floor at the same time. And it's beautiful to see. They both had over 20 points. Ivy finished with 23, Cade 22. That's all you can ask for.
That was always going to be the most ideal scenario. You want your high draft picks to hit.
Yeah.
I wanted Jaden Ivey to do well. Like I said, I had my doubts, but he's definitely shutting me up. When I said he should have been on the bench, he's proven me wrong. Hopefully you listened. You probably didn't, but if you did, use that as motivation. And speaking of my only criticism was motivating, how about Ron Holland, who I never had any negative words for, who I never doubted? Don't let that thing like visual evidence of draft night sway you from that. But for real, Ron Holland gave you 13 valuable minutes off the bench as well.
He did. And shout out to Ron Holland, too. All he wants to do is work hard. He's one of those guys as well who I believe in his future, because like Ivy's one of those hard workers, one of those guys who came up in basketball culture. He and Cade Cunningham did that together. And I want to give a lot more love to Jalen Duren. Because you're going to have nights like last night. And though every player has things to improve upon, I still believe that Jalen Duren has a little bit too much on his plate, but that he's still a great player for this young team. Yeah. Obviously, as it relates to the grand scheme of the NBA, he has some places to get to be great. He's a part of this core. I believe he needs some help on that front line, and I do believe he will take those necessary strides this season as well. So I'm still very bullish on who Jalen Duren can be. I see Danny G in the chat. Duren is 20. Give him a break a little. But yes, it is concerning. And I think that that's about where people are. They believe he will get there, but people get antsy when the Tigers get hot, when the Red Wings get close, when the Lions are going, and the Pistons are on rebuild number 2. You want to see, like you just said, with Ivy and Cade, it's good to see them hitting the button. Duren was drafted in the same year as Ivy. You want to see him be able to be one of those guys as well, and I think that he will be.
Yeah, and you can look at that he's 20 and give him a bit of a pass for some of his shortcomings. I think kind of like what we saw with Ivy last year, and like Duren, it wasn't all Ivy's fault by any stretch. I think right now Jalen Duren still has some allegations against him that he has to answer for. But like you, Kool-Aid, I'm not writing him off just yet. I'm just a little concerned, but it's 5 games.
Thank God
and I do think he has,
one,
and I do think that he has too much on his plate, like you said.
And thank God they got one before this snowball, man. Did y'all see that video of the team celebrating last night?
Yeah,
the champagne.
JB Bickerstaff.
I know that felt good for them, man. I'm so happy for this team, and hopefully they can keep this momentum going. Because you're about to be out of a tough stretch, and then you got some very winnable games. They got time to right the ship, man. You just hope that they can do that.
They do. And before we get to what's trending, a lot of those Pistons players have gotten paid, including Cade Cunningham. If he wants the best car, go to Les Stanford.
Hey.
What happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? You expand and offer more products to more people. This is exactly what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC. The same great service that customers have come to know and trust on Woodward Avenue just south of 9 Mile. Check out Les Stanford in Dearborn today at lesstanford.com. Les Stanford Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward and Maine, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and WoodwardSports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game, it's wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah!
Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
You and I pay our bills. Unlike my opponent, Dave Coulter, I won't take advantage of my job because I work for you. I'm Nick Jonai, and by the way, I do pay my water bills on time, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Nick Jonai for Oakland County.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
New Holland Brewing Company presents the Woodward Sports Watch Party and the post-game show for every single Detroit Lions football game live at Hayes Social in Shelby Township, and it's a great time. I've enjoyed it every single time. I'm telling you guys, great atmosphere, great food, great drinks, and Detroit Lions fans are there as well. So if you can't get to the game, Hayes Social is where you want to be. And if you're watching the game from home, then make sure you're tapped into Detroit's #1 sports network, that is Woodward Sports Network, to be the perfect companion for the game. I'm telling you, it's better to listen to us than sometimes these national broadcasts that they got. Woodward Sports is the place to be. And all of this is brought to you by Tangerine Space Machine, Totally Your Local Long Drink, 1800 Tequila Soroki's, Sabbath Coffee, and more. Shout out to the heavyweights holding down the watch party, Stick and Anson holding down the post game. It's a great time every time.
And of course, you got to go to Dispo. How would you like to win free bud for a year? That's right. Free smoke, weed, reefer, flower, however you refer to your favorite cannabis product. It's your chance to win free cannabis for a year, compliments of Dispo Dispensary. All you have to do is scan the QR code on the screen, sign up, and you will be entered for a chance to win. Don't miss out on this insane giveaway. Sign up today to elevate your game. Dispo Dispensary, your local plug, must be 21 or older to enter. Terms and conditions apply.
And we are back once again. Shout out to the Pistons getting that first dub of the season. You want to see them get some more and hopefully get to that stretch where we could see them kind of about that 500 team and really making the best squads in the NBA sweat. But now we got to get on to everybody's favorite segment, that is What's Trending, man, with JB Smooth. I think it's time to spark a word to Dispo, brother.
Let's do it.
And now it's time for the most electrifying segment on the internet. Bum, bum, bum. It's What's Trending with JB. Live on Wake Up Woodward.
Ladies and gentlemen, here's JB.
Bang! Oh, what's going on, fellas? Once again, happy Halloween to you guys and everyone in the chat. Being as it is Halloween, you know I had to bring some Halloween costumes for you guys. So let me know which ones you guys think are the best and who is probably taking home the prize this Halloween. So first up, House on Zillow.
Wow.
That's funny.
Wow. That's hilarious, though. Flannel sounds unimpressed.
Oh, no, I'm impressed for sure.
The long-ass CVS receipt.
The CVS receipt.
That's a good one. Yeah. That's a good one. Every coupon in the world that you don't need.
Yep.
Where do you get a CVS receipt costume made?
I have no idea.
That's hilarious.
So that's one option for you.
Shout out to the climate.
Didn't you think about that?
You got one option. There's also this as well, too. Construction worker.
All right.
Okay.
That's just going to make me upset. I don't want to think about Old Mound Road.
It was bad down Mound for a long time.
You got the construction worker. And then finally, this one that I think is the best. Shout out to my little man here. Steph Curry on the card.
That's actually that's pretty out cold.
You got to keep the pose though. You can't just be moving your arms. And stuff. You got to. If you gonna do it, you got to stay in character, man.
That's pretty out cold.
That's dope.
Flannel, I see you just over there right now, man. What up, though?
Oh yeah, no, I'm not the biggest Halloween fan. I like,
of course.
No, wait.
It's on brand.
I like the month of October and everything that goes around with it. My wife is a big Halloween fan, and we've done a lot of spooky things. It's just I don't dress up And it's not because I'm too cool. It's because I just am I don't know. I just don't like to.
Don't they have an actual Halloween costume with your fit? It's called the Flannel Sam fit. Remember we found that picture?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Flannel Sam has a costume. He's in costume. He has a costume.
I remember that.
People Google Flannel Sam Halloween costume and it search the images, and trust me.
Hey, this 411. JB got the best hats in the real K77. JB switched over to Michigan? That's what's up, JB.
Wait,
Go
no,
blue.
This is not a Michigan hat. Jesus Christ. Head rush. It's an MMA hat. No. I will never. That's not gonna happen.
Go blue, JB.
It's not.
Y'all let
it's
him
not-
know how much you appreciate his hat today.
That's not going to happen.
JB,
no.
you sure about that?
I
Whenever I hear you talk, I just hear the theme song.
That's because you're over there in the sound.
What are you talking about? I didn't touch nothing. Y'all saw me on camera. Did I touch anything, y'all?
No, seriously.
Yeah, hey, I'm just saying.
Flannel,
Bro.
do you see him touching?
No, all I'm hearing is the sweet, sweet tones of Hail to the Victors.
Thank you for that, JB Smooth.
I didn't provide
Go blue
any of
fan.
this. This was not on me.
It's funny when you do that to Spenny.
It's been the best troll all week.
Oh yeah.
All week.
It's been funny.
I saw you paid him too. That was funny. He was like, it's socks. I was like, shout out Spitty.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Hail to the victors, man.
Thank you for that, JB.
But once again, it is Halloween, so hopefully you're being safe out there. Hopefully you enjoyed some of those costumes. And finally, I will end what's trending with this. You know what? Not all NBA performances go unnoticed, especially this halftime performance.
Oh, no.
Oh!
You good, bro? You good?
Damn.
That would be it for me. No more Kool-Aid jammers after that.
Yeah,
it's just 4.
that's tough.
Oh my gosh.
That's tough. Your intestines. Jesus.
All right, yep, that's the last
Now
one.
you
I
trying to
watched
play
that
it
one.
off like you cool. You're not cool,
I
bro.
can't
know
watch that
shit
one no more.
That shit hurt.
Yeah.
You trying to play it off like you
Yeah,
was good.
he's like fanning himself like he's really hot.
Boy, he went to the locker room and was doubled the fuck over. Like,
it's the Paul
my
Pierce hands on the
God.
hips for me, bro.
Yeah.
Gotta play it off
Bring the wheelchair.
for the women in the crowd. You know, he trying to look good still.
Oh yeah.
Only in Minnesota,
He's
man.
like, bro, man, the dancers saw me do this.
Only in Minnesota.
You gotta be careful next time. Definitely gotta be careful next time. But that's it for what's trending, you guys. Let's hop into some mailbag.
Absolutely. And before mailbag, I got to tell you about 1800 Tequila, official tequila of Woodward Sports Lions watch parties and post-game show. Join 1800 Tequila and Woodward Sports every Lions game live at Hayes Social in Shelby Township and celebrate the wins with smooth 1800 Tequila, proud sponsor of your Detroit Lions. 1800 Tequila, the best taste in tequila. Drink responsibly.
Don't know what that tastes like, but you can also pair 1800 with Soroki's Crispy Chicken and Pizza because they got their new limited time offer just in time for this football season. They're debuting their fresh signature wings, so you can grab your friends and order a New York style pizza and add on some wings as well too. You can try one of their 7 different flavors that you got on screen. And if you don't have enough time to stop in store, you can always order online at Sorokis.com.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app online or in club and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
You and I pay our bills. Unlike my opponent, Dave Coulter, I won't take advantage of my job because I work for you. I'm Nick Jonai, and by the way, I do pay my water bills on time, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Nick Jonai for Oakland County.
Thank you to all the fans for making Woodward Sports your #1 online destination for Detroit sports. We promise not to drop the ball.
Too late?
That's right. Second best. You guys want to know where the best pregame show for every single Detroit Lions game is? It's located in the heart of downtown Detroit at Detroit's very own second best bar, located 42 Watson Street. Just so you guys know. I'm telling you, it's a great environment as well. You got Neil Rule on set. You got Sean Belegian. Chase is always down there, and other Woodward sports personalities and a bevy of fans. It's where you want to be, man, to kick off your Lions game day. And you know what? Enjoy some smooth Tullamore Dew Irish whiskey while you're catching the Woodward Sports pregame show as well. Come get some. Second best bar.
Absolutely. And then Mark White, dream of a new home but feeling the financial pinch? Mark White and Associates, your trusted real estate experts, are here to help. Mark White and his team will pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. That's right. I said $5,000. Call Mark White and Associates today at 248-290-8242 or visit them at markwhitesells.com. Again, call Mark White today at 248-290-8242 to make your dreams come true. And then why not pair a house with a car? Since 1996, Feldman Automotive has been driven to provide a fast, convenient, and first-class car buying experience called the Feldman Advantage. With 18 locations, there's a Feldman dealership in your backyard. Visit feldmanauto.com to find the location nearest you. Feldman Chevrolet, Detroit's #1 Chevy dealer.
And we are back, and it's time for the Wake Up Woodward mailbag segment presented by the Feldman Automotive Group. So, chat family, definitely make sure to get your mailbag questions into the chat, and we will definitely read as many as we can. And hit that like button. Let's run those likes up. Woodward Sports, Wake Up Woodward first show today. Stay tapped in with Big D Energy after us, Ermanni and Edwards, and then in the day with the heavy weights.
You say mail?
Mail.
Hey,
Mail?
Mail?
Here's the mail, it never fails. It makes me wanna wag my tail. When it comes, I wanna wail. Mail! There you guys go.
Shout out Chase.
Shout out to Chase. You know, Chase.
Even Sam had the question.
Chase, take a bow real quick.
Well done.
Just really quick.
I'll take a little bow wow like a bell.
A little bow wow. I get you.
Well done, Chase.
Somebody say bow wow.
I love the paw. I saw that, Chase. I saw it. That's excellent. Y'all better get these mailbag questions in and those likes. Now, y'all got a performance out of Steve from Blues Clues right here on set, man. But let's go. I see Randall Smalls. Let me see here. Feldman Mailbag. Does anyone, and he put that in all caps, other than me, who thinks this Lion team is evolving? We're down the road as a surprise hooker wildcat, more blitzes from secondary, and more trick plays.
I don't know about hooker. I don't see Hendon Hooker being out there. But, you know, if you don't do anything at the deadline, you're going to have to blitz. Get some pressure, so.
Yeah. John effing Lord. Anybody located Black Mark Davis?
Oh, that's right.
You guys remember when he stopped into the studio?
Mark Davis.
That was crazy.
That was a wild day. I was actually in the sound booth, man. And he just was looking through the window, and I'm like, I forgot what time of year it was. And so I'm sitting here like, yo, this is crazy. We're going to have to call somebody to get this guy from over here. And then he walked into the studio, and they were like, oh, like Kool-Aid, can you go get him? Tell him to come here for the show. I'm like, why? I don't know that guy. And then he was one of the best segments of all time.
Neil keeps talking about Black Mark Davis. Listen, any brother with a Mark Davis haircut, he ought to be ashamed of himself. That's ridiculous, bro.
Oh, man. Stick Radio, WXYZ reported J-Mo sampled a grape before buying at Whole Foods. They have the video.
Oh, no. Arrest this man now.
Damn. Hey, Shy had a good one. Feldman Mailbag. Do y'all think Cade's turnovers could be attributed to who he's on the court with? Like, does he have more turnovers with the starters or bench kind of thing? Question mark.
I believe that there's a lot that Cade has to clean up.
Yeah.
There's going to be some that happen just because of the course of the game, but there are some careless ones, in my opinion, or ones that I think he could pay a little bit more attention to.
Some where he's holding on to the ball too long, and some where he's just not making the best decision passing wise. But more times than not, he's a better passer than that. But he does have points in the game where it's like, why are you turning over the ball like this?
I think he's trying to create for his team. I think he's trying to force, and create. And sometimes it's like, bro, you're the best scorer on the team.
Right.
You can get your own shot from all three levels. Sometimes it's just go be that guy and allow your passing ability to be utilized based off of the gravity that you create rather than trying to force the pass.
Yeah, and sometimes move around the floor a little more because he's facing way more double and sometimes triple teams. So if you're facing double teams, don't hold on to the ball so long, man. Just get rid of it.
Yeah, I think a lot of it, he's obviously got to clean that up. That's like the last evolution of Cade Cunningham becoming an actual star in this league, which I think he is on his way to being and has played that way in the first 5 games. But honestly, I think a lot of it just has to do with usage. Because last season, Luka Doncic, LeBron James, and Giannis were high turnover guys as well.
Yep.
It just happens. It's not the worst thing in the world.
Trae Young.
Trae Young's a turnover machine, but he's also a perennial all-star.
Yep. Herb Nash, and this one is an interesting one. Feldman Mailbag. Sam, what do you think of the impact of the Carter Smith decommitment? I think you can kind of combine it as well with some of the other little rumors that we hear. Shout out to Belleville. A lot of good happening out of Belleville right
That
now.
is a, God. There's a certain someone who I would like Michigan to get instead, who currently plays quarterback for Belleville, because Michigan needs all the quarterbacks they can get. So let's just hope there's somebody on the horizon like a Bryce Underwood.
Yeah, sound like my man was mad. That's what it really sound like. Because, I mean, you still got Jaden Davis on the roster. He was a 4-star too, but I mean, we got a chance at the best quarterback in high school right now. Maybe the nation. I'm sorry, bro. You got to go. Gotta go.
Yeah, you just gonna kick him out that quick.
Hey man, he ain't even touched the field yet. What are we talking about?
You just gonna kick him out.
Well, you went and put on the maize and blue hat as soon as the speculation started.
We have any amazing blue hat. I was just saying, like, you just gonna kick him out that quick. I mean,
we have a chance to get an actual quarterback.
You got a spot at MSU. Just come to us. Come to the
Pay
green.
that man the money, bro. I don't care. $4 million, $5 million, $6 million. Like, what's it to the University of Michigan?
Nothing.
Nothing at all. Go get that quarterback. Oh my gosh, man. All right, there was another good one in here. Bitcon51, Feldman Mailbag. Can Brad trade his draft skills for a pick or two that's worth 2 firsts? What?
What does that mean?
Do not compute.
I don't.
Can you repeat that one more time?
Bitcon, definitely.
See if you can decode.
Yeah, I like to try to decipher
Can
stuff.
Brad trade his draft skills for a pick or two that's worth 2 firsts? I think he's just giving Brad Holmes love for his ability to draft.
Yeah, I think you're saying like he's gonna offer like drafting consultation.
Oh,
like his skills in the draft, let him help with a team with a couple picks. I think is what they're trying to say.
And Cleveland could use that.
Yeah.
See? Okay. Good.
I get that
call,
one.
Good call.
I
Yeah.
We'll
get
throw
that
in a Brad Holmes masterclass with that deal I presented earlier.
So basically, to translate, he was just saying Brad Holmes is cooking.
Yeah.
Got you.
Thank you, Chase.
IT Hips, Feldman Mailbag. 13 of the last 15 World Series winners have had a top 10 payroll. Now that the baseball offseason has begun, do you believe the Tigers might actually make a big splash?
Moneyball.
That's a good find.
Moneyball.
I do. No, I am a fan of Moneyball, but
Big fan.
That's definitely a damning stat. I will just say to anybody who doesn't spend a lot of money.
Hey.
You mind if I get my wrestling shit off real quick?
I was just about to read that one. You
shout out
read that one from Dante?
Dante, yeah.
Go ahead.
Shout out Dante151. Feldman Mailbag, JB and KG. How happy are you that Private Party winning the AEW Tag Team Championships? Also, Bobby Lashley is in AEW now with Shelton Benjamin and MVP as the Hurt Syndicate. And I like that name so much better than Hurt Business. Hurt Syndicate? That's hard, man.
I don't like Hurt Syndicate. It's not even original now anymore, bro. We're just stealing words that you had in a faction in WWE. The Hurt Syndicate.
Well, the Hurt Business is contracted by WWE. So what else was you gonna do?
So let's just do the Hurt Syndicate. This is so original.
I mean, it is what it is. It's got a better ring to me. But shout out Private Party. I'm so glad that the EVPs finally lost the damn tag titles. I've been sick and tired of them holding them tag team championships for this long, man. Like it was the reign of terror, the AEW edition with them. But Private Party, they're a really good tag team. They're exciting. A lot of the spots they do are very entertaining. So I'm happy for them, man. And hopefully they'll have a long reign before the EVPs eventually win the titles back. Because you know what the fuck that's what the fuck they're gonna do. But excited about the Hurt Business, man. The Hurt Business in AEW is gonna be live, man. And they beefing with Swerve right now. I wonder where it's gonna go.
I don't like that. I don't like that you're beefing with Swerve.
Hey, guess what? Swerve is going to join the Hurt Business. I promise you.
I hope he does. That's what I thought was going to happen. But then they just went out and attacked him last night.
This is the beginning of the story. Right now, they just trying to build like, oh, Swerve might hate the Hurt Business, but eventually he's gonna turn on Nana and he's going to the Hurt Business.
Oh, don't turn on Nana.
He's gonna turn on Nana. Sorry, I love Nana too, but it is what it is. My bad. Y'all can continue.
Oh, you're good.
Bro, this is what you guys do. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people that love this stuff. After seeing the Hardy Boys and Joe Hendry and such what they did for our content as well.
Yeah.
Seeing how much it resonated. One of our best videos ever was the video that we captured of the Hardy Boys at LCA.
Yeah.
And that thing blew up. It's like, look, there are people who love it, and who better than people who passionately understand the extreme fights, the wrestling world, the boxing world than you guys. This platform should be about making sure you guys can step into those places, man.
Nah, big facts.
I appreciate it, for real.
And I know D-Mac is waiting for that day too. But I wish we could have got into our TNA weekend that we had, because we had a really good weekend. We've been having a lot of really technical difficulties. Maybe tomorrow we can just run through how our AEW weekend was, because we got a lot of good pictures and video. That Bound for Glory event on Saturday was one of the best wrestling events I've been to in person. And shout out Wayne State Fieldhouse. It was beautiful in there. They packed that damn thing, man. It was crazy.
They did it right. Detroit did it right.
Man. Detroit showed out.
They really did it right. That was my first time at Wayne State Fieldhouse, and it looked amazing. It really did look beautiful.
This is perfect segue.
Packed out. Like, there wasn't like an empty seat in the house, and it was so extreme just to be there. To see Rhino get inducted in the Hall of Fame as well, too. Man, it was an epic night.
It's a perfect segue. You say the Wayne State Fieldhouse, because November 7th will be Motor City Cruise Media Day. So I know that has some implications to almost all of you guys on this show. So mark that on your calendars as well, because we will be boots on the ground to cover this stuff.
Yeah.
Not just for the sake of covering the cruise, but also the professional chops as well, and be able to get boots on the ground there in the PR room, amongst the players, amongst one of the best basketball minds I've gotten an opportunity to talk to since covering the Pistons, Jamel McMillan as well. He is a joy to talk to. So overall, can't wait to get there. Great show as always. Is it time to break this thing down?
Think so.
Hey, well, let's rock. Intern Chase, anything? Looks like you got something to say.
Oh, I was just going to say bless you because you just sneezed.
Thank you. Hey, you know what? Sing it one more time since you're the one truly in costume.
All right.
One more time for the people, man.
All right. Here's the mail, it never fails. Hey. It makes me want to wag my tail. When it comes, I want to wail. Mail! So I hope you guys have a happy Halloween. Stay safe out there. It's a very, looks like very nice weather. Hopefully it stays dry. Steal some candy from your kids and have a good night, everybody.
You sure you ain't the new Blues Clues guy?
Hey, you want to hire me, man?
Had like 6 of them. I'm rocking with Steve. That was my dog. I don't know about these other little clowns and characters they got, but yeah, Steve was the man.
Hey, Dante151, I wish I had the answer to. Also, any update on the possible KG and JB show? Guys, listen. Dante, they'll tell you. I talk to them about that every single day.
No, that's a fact. That is a fact. And we working on something. We are.
I'm excited for our brothers, man.
Me too.
That's a show, man. That's a show. Shout out to that dude, Justin, working hard, man. Working really hard. Shout out to Matthew, our brother, and intern Chase again. What up, though? Great show. And thank you for all the hard work that you do for us as well, man.
Hey, thank you. Sure. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. I'm going to commute it today. Our elite booth, though. Detroit's #1 draft pick, KG, a.k.a. Black Hollywood, in the sound booth. What up, though, brother?
Hey, man. Feeling good, man. Feeling good. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We appreciate y'all support and y'all hanging with us this week. It's been a tough week, but we powering through. Shout out to everybody here. I love y'all, man. This was a great show. Really had fun with the trade segment, Sam. And, yeah, go Pistons, man. Keep this momentum going, please, man. Please.
Y'all cooked with those trades, man. Shout out to Woodward Sports MVP in the TD booth, JB Smooth. What up, though, brother?
Hey, it's been an amazing show. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Shout out to you guys as well, too. Be safe today. Have fun. I know it's Halloween. It can be a little crazy sometimes, but just be safe. Enjoy yourselves. And you know what? Steal some candy from your kids now and then. You know they don't need all that anyway.
Hey, man. Hey, the vet of the squad, the vet of the network, all things a Detroit sports knower. As I say often, the more things change, the more Flannel Sam stays the same. And we can add one more title to that, Red Wings correspondent. What
hey,
up,
love it. And I know how that Hail to the Victors just kind of spawned out of nowhere.
Yeah, I know, right?
I think we're going to be hearing that more times than you think on Saturday at the Big House.
Let's go. Let's go, man. It's your boy, Brandon Day, a.k.a. Detroit Kool-Aid.
Oh, there it is.
Your credential Pistons reporter and writer.
You need to get some new headphones. I keep hearing this weird noise.
It's you, man. Every time you come around, it just starts playing for some reason. I don't know why.
I don't know about that.
I'm so mad at JB's move. That's off the screen. Oh, snap.